Zero carbs beer is here. Introducing Bud Light Next. Zero carbs, 80 calories. Super crisp light beer. Bud Light Next. Brewed for what's next.
Hello and welcome to the UGASports Watch Along Show. I'm Dayne Young along with Jim Donnan here. We are presented by Yancey Brothers, Bud Light Next, and Athens Ford. We'll tell you about them throughout the broadcast. We'll also get to Georgia versus Florida preview. But first, Coach, obviously the hearts and minds of all of Bulldog fans and anyone that cares about the University of Georgia with the family of Vince Dooley with his passing. I know you had a special relationship with him, so let's begin with whatever you'd like to say about Vince Dooley.
Yeah, sad day yesterday for all the Dog Nation. Coach Dooley fought a hard fight here the last 3 or 4 months. You know, he had throat cancer a few years ago, and he just had some fibrosis that got into his lungs, and he just kept fighting it hard, and he'd had several stents in his heart. But he lived a great life, and, you know, one thing about it, I wouldn't be here today without Vince Dooley. He did so much for me in my career, gave me the opportunity to be the coach here, and you know how I feel about this place. And he's created quite a legacy outside of just football, all the good coaches he hired, all the contributions he made to the city and state, and just any kind of tribute we could give here is not near enough compared to what he deserves. But hopefully the Bulldogs will dedicate this game to him today.
And earlier today on campus at the Vince Dooley Athletic Complex, some flowers, some balloons are there. I'm putting up a picture so people can see it here. When you got that phone call from Vince Dooley saying we want to hire you to be the head coach of the Georgia Bulldogs, what was that like for you?
Well, it was. I actually was over at the stadium picking up some presents for my grandchildren because they always went through my house and found them, and so I was alerted that he had called, and I knew, you know, Christmas Day. I didn't think he was calling to wish me Merry Christmas, particularly since I'd interviewed a week before, and he'd told me he was going with Glenn Mason, which, you know, I understood that, but. You know, it was a great day for me. Brought me down here. I would have never met you, Dayne, without Coach Dooley making that call.
Absolutely. Well, we will be thinking about the Dooley family throughout this show. If we have any more good stories about it, we'll weave those in there too. But we are here to talk about Georgia and Florida. I think my microphone may not be working like it should be. So I'll check that out. Georgia Florida preview, if you'll get that going while I check my mic, Coach.
Yeah, I think it's just really one of these games where you always talk about throwing out the record, but Georgia has some issues playing against Florida in this game because of Florida's style. They, you know, a very good rushing team, very experienced offensive line, and they've got a mobile quarterback. If they can establish the run, which I think they can to a certain extent, you know, Georgia's kind of had fool's gold with the Russian defense this year because they hadn't had to play against really Russian teams, and they've been ahead, or we've been ahead most of the time. So stopping the line of scrimmage, creating some lost yardage plays will be really difficult to do. But if we can do that, then they're not a very adept throwing team. The receivers are not a strength. Conversely, they're really poor on third down. I heard Coach Napier say today that their defense has got to win first and second down and not get into third and medium, third and short against us because we're one of the best teams in the country doing that. I look for us to really utilize our tight ends. Hopefully we'll move Bennett around. 1 through 44, we got a decided edge on our talent. We got a head start on them, that's for sure. We just got to have everybody on the trip's got to contribute. That's the way I would say as a coach. You've got to take care of business and do your job. That's written up there on a lot of places in our different areas of our football complex. Do your job, and if we can each man do his job, I feel good about our chances.
CBS right now is showing Stetson Bennett in his previous games against Florida. Not really good efforts for him in those games. I know that first one, he did have the shoulder injury and tried to fight back from that. But I'd have to think that as a South Georgia boy, as a guy that probably grew up this being the closest game to him where he grew up, this has got to be a big one for him personally.
Yeah, we didn't do much in the first half offensively last year. We were up 10-0, and then all of a sudden got those 2 turnovers and jumped on them 24-0, and they were playing from behind. And that's what, as I mentioned in the get-go, we got to do that today. We got to get off to a fast start and let our defense play ahead of the change. By that, I mean we're going to get them second, third, and long. And but I do know that it's really nice to always have these shows for the watch along. We've got a great following. We appreciate, as usual, our great sponsors, and Yancey Brothers is going to have a deal of promotions here where we're going to talk about these nice bags that I'm going to keep this one here for a little while anyhow till the season's over, and then I'm going to use it. But they're going to give some of those away as promos, and then certainly Athens Ford just every year right behind us, and you'll be telling us all about the deals we had. And our compatriot Roddy is down at the game. I hope that he made it through last night. All of those people asking for his autograph and everything, but we'll hear from him maybe at halftime. But Dogs are wearing red and silver breeches. It's going to be interesting to see. I remember talking about the blue pants there. One time we were out at half before the game, and Coach Spurrier says, "Hey, what do you think about our blue pants?" And I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "It's the first time we ever wore the blue pants in the Florida game against Georgia." I said, "Well, Coach, I really don't care what kind of pants you wear, but so they're wearing the blue pants, and hopefully we can get after their ass in those blue pants."
You had mentioned this bag here from Yancey Brothers. So Yancey Brothers has been a sponsor of the UGA Sports Watch Along show with Jim Donnan all season long. It is the premier equipment rental company, not just for Caterpillar equipment, but also job site equipment from 20 other manufacturers. And so if you rent from Yancey Brothers and be one of the first 100 renters, 100 customers, to either mention the Jim Donnan show or UGA Sports when you rent, you'll get one of these nice bags here. And Coach, you said you're going to keep it as I throw a remote in the floor. I can see why with all the space in here. This is a high quality bag.
There'd be one you carry on the plane or carry anywhere. I mean, you'd be, and certainly great colors. Greg was thinking about the Georgia Dogs when he had this red and black one made up. So they're definitely Georgia supporters, just like we got the great families behind the Athens, Ford, and certainly what we got with our Budweiser people with Leon Farmer. Shout out to Marilyn Farmer. I know she's got everybody over there in her crowd watching us. And I just really think that this end of October, all through November, it's going to be great to be a Georgia Bulldog. I just think this team, I told a couple of coaches over there, I've just seen as an innocent bystander when I go over there occasionally, tremendous development of young players. And I think if you just think about the fact that we had 28 players leave our program that had really good roles in it, 15 to the pros and 13 to the transfer portal. We didn't bring in one guy in the transfer portal. So that kind of shows you what kind of program Kirby's built as far as talent here. And we definitely going to have to step up and be physical. I heard Kirby talking about being physical and knocking them around, and that's what this game's all about. Go Dogs.
Apparently TCU just covered.
Well, that's good. That's good.
I don't know how that happened, but I just saw a tweet about it. Georgia playing Florida here. Georgia 7-0, Florida 4-3. And look, I know this Florida team is not what previous Florida teams have been, but Coach, when they played a few weeks ago against Tennessee, that was a tight game by them.
They really did a great job offensively in that game. They got all those passing yards, plus they had really good mobile quarterback in Richardson. They beat Utah, who beat Southern Cal 2 weeks ago. They beat them at home. in a big win for Billy Napier's first game. Got a lot of respect for Billy. I knew him when he's a coach at Clemson. Then he went on to Alabama and Arizona State, and then he got his head coaching background there at University of Louisiana. And he's got some Florida Gators on his staff that know what it means. Obviously, they must have won the toss and deferred. Let's see what Georgia comes out doing here with their initial. Tell us how they can challenge their what they can do to stop their.
You can pause your TV or streaming or however you're watching this. We're also going to make it a little easy because I'm going to get the clock up on the screen for everyone.
Yeah, so you pause it and then you can go live with us. Stetson looks a little earlier, a little older today. His birthday yesterday. 21-3, pretty good record as a starter. One of his losses was to Florida, but he got hurt in that game.
25th birthday? Is that right?
Yeah. Silver. I hope they can show us some formations here. They just do a poor job of that. I'm going to have to talk to them. Pretty good run there.
First play of the game goes for a first down and more.
A lot of eye candy there. By that, I mean show them a good look there. You put a little bit of a tight slot there with, see, Washington and Bowers. Washington comes across and jacks up the backside, and then Kenny Mack steps up there. I like the fact we're making them adjust a little bit. Little trips into the boundary here. Could be play action. You had it again. Just missed the block there. Block Bowers. We're going to call a post chop here maybe on us. 15-yard penalty. We hadn't had many penalties this year, but we got one here on the hold. Best thing they can do is us stop ourselves. I read Roddy's report where he was talking about we'd only had 28 penalties and not many turnovers, but boy, that's what kills you. Who did he say that was on?
That was on Tate Ratledge.
Still okay. Motion. Just coming out and peeing down her leg here. Just ridiculous. One of your best player, Warren McClendon.
It's behind the chains early for the Dogs.
We had it there. We had a little flare pass. Doesn't do any good to say my bad, Warren. See that? We had 39 penalty yards and we already got 20. Or I guess 15. That's nice. Very good patience. Pick up 10. Now it's manageable. You got 2 downs to make it. Every possession counts in a game like this because I think Florida's going to try to keep the ball away from us, Dayne. These graphics are wearing me out here. You can't see the dang game. Comes Bowers down the middle.
Came across the formation. They go over the top of it. Kyrus Jackson. Good looking pass.
I didn't realize we had a quarterback that could move like that.
Someone told me he could.
No, I mean, I like the movement in the pocket.
Yeah.
Big first down there. Coming after 1st and 25, wasn't it?
Yeah, because it was the 2 penalties.
Likes to go over the top after a first down. Check out how big that number 21 is. Look how big he is. I've never seen a guy that has that number. Look at his. That guy must weigh 350. As long as we can run and effectively not have lost yardage plays, we're in good shape.
All right, so we have the clock on the screen. We'll talk about on and off as we need to. 2nd and 8 for Georgia. Whew. That should have been a pick.
A little bit of overthrow there. I think he really stared down old Bowers here.
Chris in the chat says that 21 for Florida weighs over 400
pounds. This guy's holding
pounds.
him. Zero is holding him. That's pathetic. No wonder the ball was behind him. Got to get better officials. What do you say, Chris said?
Number 21, big boy, is north of 400 pounds. 410 pounds is what Chuck Ward is saying. 6'5", 410. Wow.
Double coverage. Well, that's a win for the Gators.
He wasn't rushed in the pocket at all. He had all day long. I don't know what he saw there. Couple decent plays, but overall kind of a rough offensive start for Georgia. They'll punt 4th and 8 here.
See if you can pin them back.
It's about the 16-yard line is where Florida will begin.
Probably going to get a commercial there.
We will, and let's chat about our friends over at Athens Ford while we have that commercial here. So Athens Ford has been a sponsor of the UGA Sports Watch Along Show since we've started doing it. They're a sponsor of the dog vent at UGAsports.com. And you've heard Roddy tell you about their mobile service where, let's say you need a little work done on your vehicle, they will come to you and do some of the maintenance on your vehicle, which is a really convenient way. I know for me, if I'm parked in my parking lot at work or something like that, arranging that something that's really going to help my day and make sure that I don't get stalled out at some dealership. Though, if you go to Athens Ford, you don't have to worry about that either because they give you good service, they're fast, they have good Wi-Fi in their building over there off of Atlanta Highway. And plus, they're going to have one of the best Christmas displays that you can imagine. They have it every year. They have a UGA Christmas tree. So that once we get through some of the Halloween decor, you're going to see the Christmas decor pop up. I told you, I showed you a picture earlier. I took my daughter to the pumpkin patch on Millage Avenue that is pretty famous. Well, I'll be taking her over to Athens Ford in a few weeks too to let her see some of their Christmas decorations as well. Go check out Athens Ford. AthensFord.com is where you can see what vehicles they have available on the lot right now. You will not be disappointed if you give them a shot.
Yeah, give a little bit of rust on the team there. First series I haven't played, been the game off, just a little bit off there. But give Florida credit. I mean, they took a chance and held Bowers and didn't get called for it. He definitely was open till the guy grabbed his jersey, and then third down. I mean, they had effectively a 2-man rush and double covered at 5 under with a free safety. So they've really been working on their third down defense to get off the field. I mean, they just said, look, if we can get you to third down, we got to get out of it some today. And that's been their nemesis all year. And that was a good job. They messed up on the first one, but we made a completion to Karras. But the second one,
as Georgia's defense comes out on the field now, they do so without Dan Jackson. He's now out for the season after a stress fracture. And so what does that do to Georgia's defense? What can we expect to see?
It hurts special teams more than anything. He's a second-team player now. He's behind Malachi Starks. Let's watch these two really good backs they got. They really do a good job of this is what scares you about this guy right here.
And he's crossing the formation.
Get him down. Good hit. Georgia showed you some of their kind of quickness there. The guy's very elusive, but as long as he's going east and west like this, we're in good shape because he's looked like he might have hurt himself a little bit here. I would hate for him to be bummed up, but it'd be okay if he dismissed this game and play next week.
Felt like he ran about 30 yards.
Ooh, he hit the sideline marker, too. They got two really good backs.
Well, that's about as much of a delay as you can have.
That looked like one of those Wake Forest plays where the guy just holds it forever. Let's see what happens here. I mean, I look, Charlie horse.
So you got hit on the hip.
One thing you always worry about against elusive quarterbacks playing man under. We'll have some kind of spy on this guy.
3rd and 6 for the Gators.
Good poise by us, not jumping off. Nice play.
Lassiter?
Yeah,
Amari
we showed.
Lassiter.
Give me a chance to use a little technical knowledge here. We showed man coverage, but we played too deep zone. And you see our corners backing up and in the zone, and then Lester's right there. It looks like he's got the flat open, but Lester's hanging there as a short corner there and sucked him right into throwing it there.
Gators punting.
Let's go, lad.
McConkey fields it.
Not much there, but very good job by the Gator against the Gator offense there by Georgia. Had to be encouraging.
Keep showing this hit on Anthony Richardson.
Yeah.
It looked like his foot kind of hung in the ground.
That's my boy Drew Wilson over there Drew and Ron Corson. Drew does a great job as an associate head trainer, and Ron Corson, of course, our longtime trainer. There's a lot of things got to happen on the road. You got to get all those guys taped and keep them healthy, keep them hydrated.
I want to give a shout out to some of the hometowns that people are watching from. Guys watching in Hiawassee, Georgia. We have VA Dog in Bethpage, Tennessee. Jason's in Beaufort, South Carolina. Chris is in Temple, Georgia. Frank DiCarlo in Evans, Georgia. William Allen in Gastonia, North Carolina. I drove through there last week on my way to Charlotte.
Gastonia right there. Ashbrook High School. We used to play them, Gastonia High. You know, one thing that our man Roddy there said Jalen Carter was in on 3rd down there. I don't know if he said 3rd or 1st down. Let me see. I didn't have my glasses on. But he predicted he was going to play. I don't know how he would have known that. 3rd down. Yeah, he was in there. That's very good to see big Jalen in there. Number 88 in your program, number 1 in your heart. Best player in America that hadn't played, I think. He played some against Oregon and a little bit against Missouri, but that'll be a big boost to our defense, Dayne. I mean, just a number easily one of the top 2 or 3 linemen in the country, and just a man mountain Dean up there takes everybody to block him, and will free up our edge rushers today. I promise you, if he can be in on 3rd down, he'll handle his side of the line, and we'll get some pressure on this kid.
It's a different composition for the defense when he's not in there. Immediately, they were not as good of a total defense, secondary and all, when he's been missing time.
Well,
which is natural. Your best player, if you don't have them,
right,
it affects everything.
You take Big John out of the coal mine, it's not very good either, you know. So you got to.
Leslie's watching from Jacksonville, North Carolina.
Really? Home of Camp Lejeune.
Chuck is Chuck Ward, Huffman, Texas.
Let's get a close up of them, see what they're doing there. We got 3.
Started tight.
Oh, got 11 in there. Arian Smith. I wonder if he can run by that guy.
Stetson faked it, going to Bowers.
Arian cleared it out. Boy, that is a really nice touch pass there. Trick or treat. Watch the way Bowers stems him up and just keeps running through the ball. Just
still double coverage and doesn't matter.
Giving us all these stadium shots here.
They have to show it before half of the fan base leaves.
Play action.
Bowers again.
I'm just telling you one thing, broken record. When this kid's on the move, how do you rush him? Look at how many people it takes. Look, their whole team. I mean, very poor there. Golly, that is a poor play call by us. I think you wanted to pull it. I mean, you don't go sideways on 2nd and 1, lose 2 yards. And I know Munkin will say the same thing.
Just stay north and south.
Yeah. He's going to make it here. There's nobody there. I like the way we're blocking these guys, though. But I was worried about the penetration. You know, I mean, they're going to take some chances. Just look at all the different looks at if they'll ever show it on CBS. They got a lot of different looks. Here comes Cox off the edge, but he takes a quick throw to Big O out here.
Just having to hold on to his ankle and see if you can get him down that way.
You got a really good quarterback there that he didn't lose his helmet in bounds there. Let him stay. See, they didn't line up very quick here. There's a 6'7" guy pushing off there with his body lean, the way he threatened the guy. I like the way we're calling the game. Reminds me a lot of the Oregon game, doesn't it? You we got Oscar Delp in there now as an extra tight end. He'll probably go in motion and block.
McConkey, Bowers, Delp, and Dylan Bell.
Too slow hitting. You know, I try to be positive, and when I say that, I'm negative. I'm just coaching there. That I'm not going to do that as much. That was a slow play.
I want you to be the coach. I want you to tell me what your reaction would be.
You got to hit it quicker than that. I mean, north and south inside that. We don't need field goals here. This is usually a throwing down for us.
Dejan Edwards comes back to the backfield.
You got Bowers. You got Bowers. Got the screen. God, get it in there, son. You know, I would just. You got to score there, man.
Dejan Edwards cleans it up. Touchdown, Georgia. Pretty good drive.
Yeah, I would say it's excellent. I always worry about not scoring when you got the chance because things can happen. But, well, when you call a game like this, it's just a different football team moving your quarterback around. I mean, he just – good job, Brock. I mean –
is that a way to kind of use Brock Bowers as a decoy, but he's a blocker over there?
Well, you worry about him being an inside receiver and running against a safety, you know, on a route. And then all of a sudden he takes that safety out and goes and blocks, and now there's nobody underneath. You know what I mean? So you worry about him going out in the flat and turning it up and doing all that stuff. I mean, but he's a definite decoy. He was big on that drive. He's already caught it as many as he did against Vanderbilt. He's got 2. I hope we continue to use those guys. We also got 7 over there that can block anybody they got. Well, I can't wait to hear about this. Tell us about what they're going on there with Yancey brothers, will you?
Well, what it is with the Yancey brothers, if you rent through Yancey brothers, so you can be Caterpillar equipment.
Tell them, read out what they got there.
I mean, it's just so many things, whether it's the aerial lifts or the light towers, portable heating and AC, landscaping equipment, Yancey Brothers and Yancey Rent, they have you covered.
If you got something wrong and you need to, like, you see these people have these portable air conditioners that come in and take care of your whole facility. I mean, they got that. They got the
Georgia had a set that they took to the South Carolina.
Right. So we should have got Yancey Brothers to fit that up for them. So, but keep going. I mean to interrupt.
Well, I'm just saying they have 16 locations around Georgia. So that's Calhoun to Brunswick, Columbus to Albany, the Athens store just past
Athens is right out past the mall there. You go out there and rent something. Maybe we can bring something over here and rent it for They got anything to eat there?
Well, the easiest thing to do is to go to yanceyrents.com. YANCEYRENTS. Yanceyrents.com. If you're one of the first 100 customers to get a rental and then mention that you heard about it from Jim Donnan, then you'll get a fancy tool bag here from the right colors.
You can use this for a lot of different things. You can take it, hey, you can take it on a trip. I mean, you can put your tools in it. You can do about anything. But I don't have.
I think your tennis gear may even.
I don't have a lot of tools around here, but I'm not much of a man around a block doing the work things. But that's where you and Roddy step in. But
so they'll send.
I'm just happy about that. They got so many different. They did such a good job of helping sponsor and help us buy some of the equipment we use, but not everybody's going to be using a Caterpillar tractor or a big front loader and all that, but there's a lot of things around the house that you use that they could get for you in a rental situation. And just do that for me. Go by there and Brian Holly, Greg, these guys have really been big helping us, and go check them out.
Kickoff is away. Georgia up 7-0.
We kicked it short here. You got to make that tackle.
Almost got to the sideline.
We just haven't had a kick this year. That shows you the kind of ability their backs have. Etienne and then the other kid, big, powerful back, 206. Kind of gives you a little stimulus there. When one group does good, the other's got to follow up. Kickoff coverage was miserable there. Missed tackles, missed alignment. It just goes to show you we haven't kicked off much this year and had to cover it. It's been out of the end zone. A little humidity down there, maybe. The ball's sitting up a little bit. This is an unbalanced line here. He's probably going to throw some kind of screen out here.
Tell you, they are not getting much at the line of scrimmage against Georgia.
Yeah, not much of a push there. Our team is there's big Jalen. Our team's been challenged here, hearing about that O-line from Florida. And of course, I was talking about it too. I mean, that's their biggest strength is
Richardson.
Make the tackle.
Good open field tackle. He's been such a good player for Georgia this year.
Yeah, I mean, you got three guys leave for the pros, and then you got a guy that's come in that's probably going to be all conference. The two leading tacklers in the conference are in this game. He and the kid from Florida, Ventrell Miller or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if Carter's in there.
He is.
88 out the gate.
Look how much space there is right in front of the center.
Oh, their center's moving.
Yeah.
He's saying, Jalen, I didn't think you were supposed to be playing, man.
Why would they align that wide on the line of scrimmage? Because, I mean, Georgia had three defensive linemen on one side of
just
the
want to get an overload. I mean, you got third and long. You're daring them to run the ball to a certain area. You know what I mean? So overload one side or the other based on their protection scheme and make them slide that way and then open up somebody one-on-one. I like it.
3rd and 16. This is not a comfortable space for Florida.
Now he's out there in a 5 technique. He's underneath the right tackle. He's in there.
Oh, somebody's got to make an open field tackle. And it was Christopher Smith.
I like the way we played zone there. I mean, golly, boy, I'll show a replay of Carter coming in there. Look at that. The guy's holding him. Good effort. Look at him moving there.
Jalen Walker getting the tackle on Anthony Richardson there.
I thought he threw it.
Well, he did, but I'm saying Jalen Walker.
He got the pressure on him?
He got the pressure.
Oh, okay.
He still brought him to the ground.
I thought you said tackle.
I did say tackle. He brought him to the ground.
Okay.
It wouldn't be a tackle on the record book. But.
Let's get a return here.
I do think it's noteworthy, though, that Jalen Walker's in there on a 3rd down play.
Get in the end zone.
And it does.
Well, the thing that Jalen Walker gives you, a guy that can play the run and the pass, I mean, he's good enough to – I hope we didn't have a penalty blocking in the back.
No foul for not. So Georgia ran into the kicker, but it was outside of the tackle
as
box.
long as he's running. Yeah, that was Sherman that did that.
MJ Sherman.
The thing that happens when these guys run these rugby kicks is I worry about blocking in the back because the guys can't see the ball,
Well, this is the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. And I saw Roddy the other day before he drove down to Jacksonville. And not to surprise you, because we've seen him on this show, he had a couple cases of these Bud Light Next.
Yeah, let's see.
He took down with him. He was loading up his Ford Explorer, going down to South Georgia a couple days ago, and he had 2 or 3 cases of the Bud Light
Is he going to be handing them out to people, or is that just for himself?
I think he told me that he was meeting with some people that night, but I'm not so sure that he's not going to keep it for himself. But I know why he likes the Bud Light Next, because there's no carbs, and you've seen Roddy try to become a little more svelte, as you like to say. And if you are trying to limit your carbs but still want a smooth beer, then Bud Light Next is the way to go for you. And specifically in the Athens area, that's made possible by a good friend of yours, Coach Leon Farmer, who's been a supporter of UGA athletics for quite a long time.
Yeah, when we say athletics, we're talking about football. He and his dad started with me here, giving the award for the weightlifter, or the guy that's the best weight training specialist each year, and it still got the award there in the room and in the new weight room. But then their whole family sponsors so many of the other sports too. It's just and do so much around town. I mean, just a family business that loves our city, loves Georgia.
So when you're driving around, you'll probably see the distribution trucks of people getting the Bud Light Next to different places in Athens. Just know that that's a supporter of this show and UGA. So thanks to Bud Light Next and Leon Farmer and his team.
Kirby got on a little. I would think he's probably going.
Showing Bill Napier coaching.
There's Coach Smart with his son Kirby.
Well, and I mentioned this. They were on the same coaching staff at Alabama. I mentioned Billy Napier's brother is the head coach at LaGrange High School right now.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Matt Napier. Good guy. Interviewed.
We got Mims in at right tackle now.
Georgia back out there. 1st and 10.
Come on. I mean, we got to put McIntosh in there if this guy's going to dance like that now. I mean, he's a good back, but you got to hit the gash there, don't you?
I think so. Get north and south.
Look what was to the outside there. But, yeah, we got Mims in at right tackle.
McClendon in at left.
Yeah, just spotting them up there. Bowers lined up in a situation where he can go in motion here. Good fake.
Fake the toss, throw it to Bowers.
I mean, come on, please keep doing that play action. God almighty, was that good? Look at his fake.
McConkey was open too. Roseme.
Going fast here. A lot of times after a first down, we'll call a play without a signal, just be a one word like Dayne or whatever it might be, but that's the closest you'll see to that guy dropping one. Keep moving him around.
2nd and 6.
And they got their plays on the face on the could go over the top here. That's the way to break it outside. I like that.
When they brought the formation tighter, that's going to open up the outside, so if you can seal your blocks.
And they ran a corner blitz there, too. It didn't help them any because they were coming from the weak side.
Playing quick again.
Good push there by Washington.
And McConkey with a good downfield block.
We're owning the line of scrimmage here. Look at Washington. I tell you what, you got two big tackles there. That one guy's 6'7", Mims, and then Washington, just like a tackle, he's 6'8", and Ratledge is what, 6'6". This leverage is there. This is where he likes to fake the toss and hit Bowers on the wheel.
Darnell and Bowers lined up on the right side of the formation. Darnell. Oh, he wanted that touchdown. He couldn't quite get turned around, but he gets down to the 1.5 yard line.
Very nice check by Stetson Bennett on the protection there. Did you see the way he moved it around? Another good job here of getting lined up, not having a penalty, but not a very good play there. They're catching us from the backside too much. Pretty good target there, isn't it?
Stetson feels like he's in such control right now.
I could see him keeping it on the edge here himself. I don't know what Delp's doing in there for Bowers. Unless we got 3 tight ends. Bowers is at split there. We got 13 in there, 13 personnel. There it is.
And Darnell's going to push him in along with others. Touchdown, Georgia.
What I meant by Delp there, I'm glad he's in the game, but I mean, it looks a little different there when he's in because when you see it without seeing the whole thing, you think, where's Bowers? But Bowers was split out one-on-one on the outside. So we got it. Great job by Delp. Not letting the penetration, but just for the fans here, you give the semblance of somebody better play Bowers out there. And now you got a 2 tight end situation with Washington and Delp. So we basically had 3 tight ends in the game. So that was your basic 80-yard march there by the Dogs. This looked like a good football team right now.
So Van Pran and Ratledge doubled the guy over the top of the ball. Does the play go straight to that spot?
Yeah, you're just going to go to the point of attack and then push it in there. But he's a little bigger back than Edwards, and I thought Edwards made a good comeback after that poor run. But now Kirby's probably been over there chewing on his kickoff team for 2 days and 14 nights here. But Washington, I thought he had a touchdown there, but
as impressive of a quarter as Georgia's had in 6 weeks.
Yeah, except for the first series, and they stopped themselves there. But the good thing about it is it's obvious when you move your play action stuff, which any of you people watching can figure out. It's just so difficult to stop the run because you're worried about those big old guys going down the field.
Yeah.
And the first play that we had on the crossing route to Bowers, Arian Smith lined up the fastest, one of the top 3 fastest guys in America lined up as a split end, and he just cleared that whole area out, and we went right over. I'm just telling you, if you could send a Western Union to that stadium, you couldn't have a better start for us because Florida, I mean, they can come back. I mean, they did before on us 3 years ago. I mean, I thought we had a great start, and then, all of a sudden they scored 30-some in the second quarter, but don't have the firepower that they had then. But helps our defense for us to be up like this. I can tell you that, Dayne, because we can play down a distance on them and good lead.
Our viewers in the chat are raving about Darnell Washington, both his pass catching but his blocking as well.
Well, they should. I mean, I want him to play tight end in the pros, and he probably will, but he would be a perfect offensive tackle, with his long arms and all, but he's just too good a pass catcher not to be but he gives you an extra tackle in the game, or you can split him out. Now, that's a lot better kickoff there now. That's more like it.
All right, let's Gary Danielson is they're talking about Bowers crossing the formation on the fake.
He would have been sick if he'd have dropped that. really, the pass was behind him, but it's the best place to throw it to him because you could have let him into, to the linebacker. But
Florida started empty and then motioned.
Play action. Watch for the play action. What I really would like to see us do is not get him anything easy. Make these guys work, and they'll stop themselves.
They have trips to the left.
Ooh, yeah.
Nolan Smith.
This is an athletic defense. Watch the movement here by Nolan Smith coming off the edge there. I mean, if you're an offensive line coach, you're not counting on the backside end making that play, so you don't block him.
Numbers game.
And I'm sure that Coach Napier is going to say if they're going to do that, we're going to let our quarterback keep it some. Throw a pick here, Rich. AR to Georgia. Carter in there again.
They blitzed. And it worked.
I'm telling you now, when you got Carter rushing the passer on one side, that's just watch him.
They brought Pop over the left side.
Look at the guy on 54 here. Well, you got a drop there too. I mean, he was open.
That was a quick 3 and out.
Yeah, what you don't want if you're Florida is a situation where your defense is not getting any help. They're all on the field the whole game. Good fair catch here.
He's going to let it go, and it stops at the 30, between the 30 and 31-yard line.
I'm going to get Karnak the Magnificent here. I'm going to try to get some vibes all the way down to – we're going to timeout here. If they don't call timeout.
Well, it's been the last play of the first quarter.
There was a cover.
TCU with a late cover.
7 points to the line, and they hit that one. There's a lot of people. But if they run a play here, I think we're going to fake the ball into the boundary here and then try to hit Bowers on a wheel.
CBS, show us a formation, please. There you go.
We could try to hit Bowers right here. Flatten up.
Just a yard for McIntosh, and we'll go to the second quarter with that.
Good first quarter. Anybody got any questions here? I'd like to have them.
We've had a few in here, so if you have a question for Coach during this break, we'll take those at this time. Michael Fowler says, Coach, are we going to see a lot of Arian Smith on a deep shot or two today? There's lots of time for Stetson in the pocket.
I think we probably will, just because protection's there. And good point. He's definitely a guy that's capable of going deep. I don't know what Stetson, like 7 out of 9 or something. The first quarter.
Stetson was 8 of 10. So you had the equation right. 8 of 10 for 121 yards.
Mm-hmm.
And Georgia's run for 65 yards. 5 players with receptions thus far.
Yeah, I think until they show the propensity to do anything, I would just keep running play action pass about every second play. They're so caught up in looking in the backfield.
Georgia, 186 first quarter yards. Florida, 16.
We lucked out on that drop there, didn't we? Guy had it.
Lewis had a question for you. Said, why is Georgia so susceptible to the backside pursuit? This was down there in the red zone.
Well, you make a good point. Usually what happens there in the red zone is they haven't stopped you, so they're going to try some creative stuff. So we only got 7 blockers, and they got 11 players now. How are they going to play those 11? They're going to probably play one on a wide receiver, and then the rest of them, a lot of times, will commit to the run. That's why you see corners coming off the edge or ends slanting, and you just got to outrun them, or you got to put a guy in motion and take him over there and get the backside, But if you do that, you're not near as strong as you are on the strong side. So if you look at my hands there, we had a tight end and a wing here, and then we had an open end on the backside was Bowers. So there's nobody on that, what we call that ghost end. There's nobody on the defensive end. So he's got to worry about the quarterback going on the edge there. But if he sells the run and comes from the backside, the only way you can block him is either the quarterback keeping it or the backside wing come across and hit him.
Mm-hmm.
Or you give up a little bit because of the threat of the fade route to coach to Bowers. But most teams are going to sell the ranch on the 2-yard line. They can't. I mean, pick your poison. You can sit back and let them bang it in there and hope you can just stop them one-on-one, or you can try to get an overload. So it's a cat and mouse, but everybody's susceptible to backside pressure on the goal line, not just Georgia.
Ryan Miller asks, why isn't Georgia running the big package during goal line situations where defensive linemen are the fullbacks? One, Jalen Carter's your guy for that, but two, if he's injured, you don't want to put him in for that. Or if he's been bad.
Yeah, I mean, we've used Jalen, and we also use Bear Alexander, but I think in our defense, we hit the big play down to the 2, and we didn't substitute. You know what I mean? We just went with the play. So if you're going to substitute, you'd probably put him in there. Still getting a lot of Edwards there. We haven't seen Milton at all.
Georgia spreading it out wide now. 2nd and 8, first play of the second quarter. Going over the top.
I tell you what, that guy is money in the bank. Is that an interception?
That's a pick. They're calling it a pick.
God, I thought he caught it.
Wow.
That's a great throw, wasn't it?
That ball never touched the ground.
Yeah, it did when he went out of bounds. Watch it. God, I thought that's too bad for Dom. God, a good throw. That's terrible getting an interception on a play like that.
Whoa. I don't know if I've seen an interception like this before.
Put him back in the game.
So they're trying to go through this and say, could it be called a catch for Blaylock? On the field, it was called an interception, I'm pretty sure.
Well, they both hit the ground if we got the balls as simultaneous. God, that's so bad.
Tough luck.
Hit him. Got to get him down, man.
Georgia sideline was saying it's grounding. Kirby Smart saying the same thing. Refs are talking about it.
Who was that had a chance at him?
That was Christopher Smith that got back there.
All right.
Now they're throwing the flag for grounding.
You hate that Stetson Bennett gets a pick on that. You know, in Florida, just put them back in. Good pressure. They're bringing a safety blitz. Unbelievable interception. Unbelievable.
So it's a 13-yard loss. 2nd and 13.
23.
2nd and 23. 13-yard penalty. That was holding on Zion Logue. Not called, though.
Guy's got a good arm. That's holding so bad.
I said Logue. That was Warren Brinson.
Carter back in. Looks like we're using him on third down. He's on the center now.
Oh, he hit. You can't false start worse than that.
But you got that big 88 looking at you, talking to you.
I'd do the same thing. I'd have ran out of the stadium.
You got to use better English than that on the show. I would have run, right?
Nope, I'm saying what I said. If Jalen Carter's across from me, I'm not worried about what my English is.
You deserve to get a bad play here after that lucky interception, Gator bait. God, I hate. Come on, Jalen.
They barely got that play off. I think this is going to be holding against Michael Williams. Florida holding him.
Our defense is on fire right now. You're going to take the penalty, Coach.
Watch 13 here. I love when defensive linemen stretch their arms out to show refs.
I mean, seriously, we got Michael Williams and Jalen Walker in there on third down. I could see him faking this. That's a really good job by our defense after an unbelievable turnover, wasn't it?
McConkey staying away. It's going to bounce out about the 17-yard line.
I've never seen a right-footed punter run to the left and kick like that. That's pretty smart. Have you?
I don't know that I have. Now that you mention
If he'd have kicked it left-footed, I'd have really been impressed. Boy, that just takes a bite out of me. That's over with. Fido, forget it and drive on.
Well, I know we opened the show.
Dom has been such a great player for us. I just hate it.
We opened the show with a bit of a memorial for Coach Dooley, and I know that there's a lot of sad emotions around it. But do you have any funny stories with him?
Yeah, I'll just tell you one that a lot of people don't know, but it's a true story. You know, when we were trying to build an indoor building, I told Kirby and the other players we were going to have an indoor facility here, but I didn't realize it was going to be when Kirby was the coach. But we were raising the money, and we had a good start on it. We had some people that made a significant contribution. It was going to be the same place where it is now. And Coach Dooley was helping me, and I was kind of the point man because, you know, in those days you didn't know a lot about those kind of buildings. Not a lot of teams had it, but and the reason we wanted one, you know, we couldn't have anywhere to go. Two times we tried to go over to where they have the swimming place there. What's the name of that? And one time they had intramural basketball, and they wouldn't let me go out there to practice a football team. But anyhow, I had it set up with a Callaway Foundation that they were going to give us $2 million to get us over the hump. We had $8 million. We needed $10 million commitment for the $13 million. We were going to get the rest of it. So I went in and told Coach Dooley, and then he went and told the committee and the board, and then they went to see Michael Adams about it, and he felt like that the Callaway Foundation should give $1 million of that to the botanical gardens because they were trying to get some money for that, and because, you know, the Callaway was such a all-around thing, and so Coach Dooley came back and told me, he said that Adams wanted to give $1 million of it to them, and we need to get another $1 million. I said, what do you think? I said, I know what I think. He said, well, I tell you what I think. I don't think we give them anything, and if they won't do it, they won't get it, and we won't get it. But he said, I'm not giving it to them, and I said, I'm not either. So from that point on, we were kind of in the wrong boat with Adams, but just ridiculous. They didn't raise the money. We raised it. They wanted to give it to the damn botanical gardens. Coach Dooley stood up for me, and I appreciate it.
He's a loyal guy, that's for sure. We're back here in the second quarter.
He's going deep.
Darnell Washington off his hands.
We got to play better. Give him some help. This is what I talked about, double move.
This is right in front of Kirby Smart, too.
You can let these guys hang around here now. Best players got to play good. This will probably be a run. Get the first. Got a boy.
Karis Jackson stretching across the line.
Can you believe the decisiveness with which he's throwing the ball?
He looks as confident as I've seen him since Oregon.
How about that stat, interception? One thing about interceptions, though, if you're going to have them, you need to have them on their end of the field.
Michael Fowler says Darnell's punishment will be lifting the team bus for reps after the game.
No, he's going to lift the plane off the runway.
He's going to push it to get it going. Well done, Michael. All day.
Oh, touchdown! My God, this is a touchdown. Larry Munson.
That never happens for Georgia. Only two
that
Georgia.
went back the other way. You lucked out on that other one. We lucked out on that one.
He gets credit for that touchdown, though.
Just unbelievable. This is kind of gets him the award for the
wow.
That's what you call the old turnaround play. How many yards was that? 60?
73. What comes to my mind is the Georgia-Auburn tipped pass that Auburn won a game on, because this doesn't happen for Georgia, and it did right here.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, sometimes it's better to be lucky, isn't it?
Yeah.
Georgia goes up 21-0 on a 73-yard tipped, batted, caromed, all the things.
Hey, just got a nice, just for everybody here, I just got a nice note from Deanna Dooley, Coach Dooley's daughter, who was kind of always kind of a point lady for me when I was trying to get a hold of Coach Dooley and couldn't. And so, I mean, at a time like this, who do you talk to? You know, I mean, it's kind of, so I just kind of poured out my guts to her last night and told her to tell Barbara, and but got a nice note saying thanks for the note. So
I've always heard they're a tight-knit family.
Fortunately, I think Derek, you know, Daniel lives here. I think Daniel and Derek and Deanna, Deidre, they were all there with him when it happened. And, you know, the worst part of COVID for me, beside people being sick and everything, was back when we really didn't know much about it. You couldn't be with your loved ones when now at least they let you. And Coach Dooley was actually at home, but, you know, if you're in the hospital 2 years ago, nobody could go see people. So it's good that they were there with them. And I know he and Larry Munson are smiling about that play. Now, I don't know how I was trying to do a Larry on a good God, a football play. But, I mean, the thing about it, the ball hit the guy's hands and then it turned around. Bowers turned around and just snatched it. Just unbelievable. Good call. I mean, we had a drop pass that would have been Washington would have been say goodnight, Gracie, too. And just play action is beautiful, isn't it?
They're laughing about it, Bauer.
There's a signal guy over there. I mean, those guys do a good job with the signal. Buster Faulkner and Stetson's probably saying the football god. Let's get him down here. Let's get him down. We're not covering kickoffs very good. Penalty on them, but you're thinking the football gods are against me on that interception, and then payback. Call that on the Gators. I wonder what those Tennessee balls are thinking.
They better be thinking about Kentucky.
I know it. You're right.
I mean, Georgia's about an hour away from being able to think about Tennessee.
The good thing about it is we'll be home and they'll be still playing. But hey, these guys are capable now. I mean, they were down against LSU and came back. But our game plan, which keep this guy behind the sticks and make them get into a passing game. We could get some turnovers on this.
Got to make
this run of the day. Don't give me anything easy. So Bowers, has 3 catches now?
That was his fourth.
Stetson's got 200 yards or
10 of 14 for 204 yards, a touchdown, and technically an interception. Second and 6 for the Gators.
Good job staying on size here. All over the ball there. Chris Smith. Chris Smith is on some mid-season All-American teams, and he should be. He's a quarterback back there, all around the ball. Let's see if we can get him one more time without a first down. They're 0 for 5 on third down so far?
On third down, Florida is 0 for 5. Look at you.
There's old Carter. I like Jalen Carter being in the game.
Chaz Chambliss is in the game.
They got it. Smart call.
Only hope there was if Chambliss could peel off and catch him in the flat, and didn't quite get there. In the chat, there's talk about Nolan Smith being injured. We can't hear the announcer, so if they mentioned it on TV, we didn't get to hear that. But
yeah, Roddy was saying he maybe has a hurt shoulder. We'll see. It always helps when the team misses plays like that because they had him. Oh!
You cannot let him get loose. Oh, he just threw that straight in the air. Oh, I thought that was going to be pass interference somehow.
How could you not touch that guy then? Looked like we had a sack, didn't we? I don't mean to yell out, but God knows.
Had 2 guys in there. It's almost like Georgia. One guy took out another Georgia player. Oh, Malachi, be careful.
That'd be unbelievable. Get Carter back and then Nolan Smith out. It could get delay a game here.
Got to make the tackle. Smith does. Good game for Christopher Smith so far.
Yeah, he's steady.
Sets up a 4th and 5.
I can't figure out where this guy's going to punt us when he's run to the right and kicked it, and he's running to the left and kick it, and
maybe we'll back up this time.
5th punt. The last 3 games, he only punted 3 times. Kicked it straight up here.
Short, too.
It's all right. Let it bounce.
What do you tell a returner when it's a little short like that? Of when do you try
just
to run up and field it?
You got to call it when you say that word. Is everybody stay away from the ball? You know what I mean? Just to let them know that it's rolling. You know.
Well, let's take a short break here and hear from our friends over at Bud Light Next.
Zero carbs beer is here. Introducing Bud Light Next. 0 carbs, 80 calories. Super crisp light beer. Bud Light Next. Brewed for what's next.
So again, the people that make the UGA Sports Watch Along show possible, Bud Light Next, that's Leon Farmer and his team here in Athens. Yancey Brothers, which if you want one of these fancy Yancey rental tool bags, all you have to do is go to yanceyrents.com, YANCEYRENTS.com. If you sign up, you're one of the first 100 customers to get one of the rentals through Yancey. And it's not just in the Athens area. It's all over the state, from Calhoun to Brunswick, Columbus to Albany. That's right. I said Albany. Then you can get signed up for one of these tool bags. Just mention that you heard about it from Jim Donnan on the UGA Sports Watch Along show. Again, only 100 of these. And what I like, you see this little outline of the state here, Coach? I think that's nifty there.
Everything about it, red and black outline.
And also Athens Ford, longtime sponsor of the UGA Sports Watch Along show. Please support these people. They support us. They're a big deal to us. All right, Coach, let's get to some of the questions that we have in the chat here. Hamwich was asking, do you think that the weird punts that we've seen is setting up a potential fake punt somewhere later in the game?
You know, you're getting beat so badly, it's not an advantage. The only time you fake a punt's when you're trying to get an edge on a, you know, they wouldn't want to put their defense. I don't think so. And you can't get mad about the ball rolling when if a guy kicks it short, you don't want to take a chance running up and trying to make a Herculean catch. You know what I mean? So I think we made some really good decisions on that.
The CBS is showing a recap of just some funky plays. So you had the really quirky interception.
But all evens out: an interception, a drop pass, and then a touchdown.
The full spectrum, and Stetson Bennett was involved in all of it.
Yeah, let's just don't get greedy here now. You don't even have him in the game. Oh, we got Big 22 in there.
Branson Robinson in. And he gets the carry. It's a good one.
North and south.
You know, another thing that I read in Roddy's 321 is they're showing the stadium and the Jacksonville Bridge that all the debate may not be worth too much for whatever people think about this game, that it's not going to be staying in Jacksonville very long is what Roddy was saying.
Here's Bowers in the backfield. Well, I mean, it's an advantage to Georgia to play at home.
Trying to set up Bowers as a blocker, and
that guy read that play pretty good. I don't think that play looked very good from the get-go.
I feel like there wasn't enough space between Bennett and McIntosh.
You should have gone in motion more. You know, when a guy catches it from the inside out, he's not far enough out there. We got Willock in the game now, right guard for Ratledge. First time of the day, second time they got us on third down. Let's see if we can do something with it.
Bowers at tight end.
They're going to heat us up here.
Ball's tipped at the line. Nothing doing for Georgia.
We had it.
Is that the old throw into the blitz?
Of course, the guy would have probably tackled him. Is this our first punt? Second punt. We had to punt.
Second punt.
Poor series there. I would like to see us run some of the plays we had run that had been working. Bullet punt. Ooh, bad break down there.
McConkey, I thought he got pushed in the back, and it may have been a block in the back. Maybe it is.
Yeah, there's a flag.
Says a lot about McConkey that he plays on both sides of the punt team.
Right. So does Bowers. You know, when you get penalties on your special teams, a lot of times it's because you're not very disciplined, but also it's because the other team is pretty good at coverage.
It was before this CB. Oh, they're saying it's that one. There was one earlier, too, that I guess they didn't get called.
Chris Smith gets blocked in the back.
Let's do a score check from around the country, and I'll pull up and see because we can't see the other games as we're watching this. Arkansas beat Auburn 41-27. The thing of note for Auburn is it sounds like that Auburn has an athletic director now, and it is Cohen from Mississippi State.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of rumors that he might be on the way out at Mississippi State. So who knows? But
I would not expect Mike Leach to follow him to.
He got a background in baseball. I think he was a baseball coach at one time, wasn't he?
He was, and Mississippi State won a baseball title in the last couple of years. Oregon
did too, but
Oregon is losing to Cal 10-7. That's in the second quarter.
Yeah, Bo Nick's doing too many interviews. I saw where he said if they played us again, it'd be different.
So it may be a little closer.
It might be, but but don't say that. I mean, you're 0-4 against Georgia, man.
Oh, this is a surprising one, but one that you're going to love, Coach.
Oklahoma State getting beat by Kansas State?
28-0.
Oh, make my heart burn.
And that's without their starting quarterback. This is not with Martinez.
Well, Oklahoma State been living on Tulsa time. I mean, they've had so many easy. Like last week, I've never heard of a team play a game where it had 14 penalties against Texas and 0 against Oklahoma State. They played a perfect game, and Texas had 14 penalties.
Illinois beating Nebraska 13-9.
This is a game that Florida's got some potential here. I'm not trying to be anything but upbeat, but we've been doing a great job, but we need to put these guys to sleep.
Early in the second quarter, Missouri 14, South Carolina 0.
That's another team. They've been living on Lexington, South Carolina time. I predicted that one on Around the League. Remember that? People can watch our show with Brent Rollins and Dayne and myself. That's a pretty good little show as far as talking about the league. Hopefully they'll get this play. We're so far away from it. Playing press coverage and Ringo to the field. Great tackle from behind there.
Ingram Dawkins. Good to see him back out there.
I like the way our line's penetrating so far. Get him in third down again one more time.
2nd and 7. Oh, wow.
He caught that away, Keeley. Get up there in his face and let him run by you, buddy. Come on. You got to collision him. Same play that Vanderbilt had, and the guy dropped it, remember?
Yep. He's limping a little bit.
Best player gets beat deep.
I'm a bit surprised Florida doesn't run more design runs with Richardson.
Well, you're right. They just hadn't been doing much today to get him. I mean, they're struggling to get their running game going, so maybe that's the answer. They like to run a little fake counter into the boundary and then throw the back, put this guy in motion, and then try to throw the back down the boundary.
2nd and 9. See, that was an inaccurate pass, and
we're getting some pressure on them.
good tackle from Javon Bullard there.
All right, Carter, come on in the game and keep him from a field goal here.
David reminds me that Richardson, if he hurt his knee on that very first play of the game, maybe he's less likely to want to run around.
Yeah, he hurt his knee or his hip.
Good call, David.
Lost yardage play here would prevent a field goal.
Florida's been in 3rd and long a lot in this first half. Surprised they're running that. You're not getting 12 yards on that play.
Well, they're trying to get it up for a field goal. When they're going to try a 52-yarder here. Watch Carter here. Watch him. Doink, doink, doink.
Occupy 2 guys, it makes it where it's hard to win the line of scrimmage.
I tell you, is that going to be huge next week if he can play? So they're going to go for it on 4th and 11 there.
See, that makes that play even more silly to me. But I guess if you knew you were going for it on 4th.
He's probably going to call timeout there after. Looks like it.
If you were going to call a timeout, get up there and try to see if you can draw Georgia off the snap and get 5 free yards.
I don't know.
I'm not trying to help Florida out here.
Keely Ringo. Good throw on it.
It was. Perfect spot. The other 2 games in the SEC tonight, Kentucky at Tennessee, and then Ole Miss at Texas A&M. Stat check for Georgia. Dogs currently have 268 yards. Florida has 78. Florida at -1 yards rushing. So,
yeah, well, he got some lost yards. But
yep. Stetson Bennett's 11 of 16 for 199 yards.
So I wonder if what Roddy's doing about those beers down there. I hope he doesn't get in any trouble. He won't.
Roddy's pretty responsible with it, but I promise you that
I'm talking about giving away free beer to minors.
He's responsible about not doing that too.
Like some of the local Georgia fraternity boys.
All right, you're right about the field goal attempt. This is a long kick.
This could be a fake.
52 yards.
He made it.
NFL kick in an NFL stadium. Florida's on the board.
I right there, I take a little bit of that from the offensive perspective. Defenses stopped them, and then offense went 3 and out. Did nothing. Had a chance to put them to sleep. But offense has played good, so has defense. But this is not any runaway game. They got players.
So typically, once we get to halftime, we take a bit of a break, and you and I are going to do that. But Roddy is actually available down in Jacksonville. So he will pop on here while we take a break and do a little halftime show with our fans. So if you have questions for Roddy, you feel free to put them in the chat here. Jinx says at least that I'm not wearing the orange and blue shoes that Roddy would if he was sitting right here.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
Kick it short.
.535.
We need it.
Do you run everything like you normally would, or do you kind of do some clock management stuff?
No, I think just run your regular offense. I mean, don't forget about moving them around. I like to see a little more energy from our team, looking like, like it's not just a day at the office here. Get jacked up and jack these guys here. They get the ball the first possession.
McConkey in motion.
Did he drop that? God almighty, did he drop that?
Oh, my. It hit him between the 8 and the 4.
Man, oh, man.
McConkey didn't do any of this before a month ago.
But, seriously, that's the best thing that Florida can happen to them is us play like this.
Wow. Oh, I thought it was going to be a first down, but it's going to leave 3rd and 2.
Boy, he made it, but barely. Cox. Cross the line there. Shit.
That's a bad spot. He made it. So they're going to review the spot.
I tell you what, they knocked the Warren McClendon back there at number 7 did.
McConkey wasn't much help blocking in there either.
Hard to come across the line and block a guy like down the line like he was.
Yeah. So I think part of this is that the yellow line that you're seeing on the field, based on what I saw to the sideline, I think that yellow line's a little bit closer to Georgia. So I'm not going to see anything that says that they'll overturn this spot.
Well, we got a confirmation there that Nolan Smith is hurt. Shoulder.
So Nolan Smith, injured shoulder.
What did you say about the yellow line?
As I was looking at it, the yellow line on the field's on the field. You see how it's a little bit closer to the right on the screen based on where the marker is at the top of the field?
Yeah.
So I think he got to the line that you see on the field, which is the TV production, but I don't think he got to the line to gain because that's a little bit of a discrepancy.
Wasted play on 2nd down.
I'm betting he's going to say the call on the field stands. Yep. Trevor says it's a terrible spot. Again, based on if you look at the marker on the sideline, I think this is the correct call from the referees.
We're going for it. Sneak it. He might just try to draw him off sides, really.
2 running backs in here, Edwards and Kenny Mack.
He's telling them he's going to try to draw him off sides.
They're going to run out and do this quickly, right?
Yeah. We're going to shift some people. made it. That was pretty slick. Good coaching, Kirby. Show some confidence in your team, buddy. Although people would have lit him up if we hadn't made it. Let's go now. Attack.
So that was a go for it the whole time.
Well, they kept thinking that we were going to try to draw them off sides, and then all of a sudden we sneaked in the sneak here right at the last second, and they weren't ready for it. I sneaked in the sneak. We got some plays down the boundary here with those three guys over there. Flea flicker. They covered the heck out of it. They held him. That's what he's saying. You know, McConkey should have kept going straight.
Yeah, I think that's
what he's telling him.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, lad. You can't ad-lib it like that when the ball's in the air. Stay down the boundary, man. That was a touchdown.
Well, that's where you had the step. You had your man beat.
We're just not – we're a little off a little bit.
I would have gone.
Turn it up.
It's only 3rd and 1.
God, make the first down. I mean, that didn't look like him, did it you?
Mm-mm.
Sneak.
He's in the gun, so it won't be a sneak.
Keep it. Good run. Eat that clock up. You say that guy weighs over 400? He looks like it. He's not really overweight looking, but he's just humongous.
It's thick.
I think he and Darnell should play one-on-one basketball.
Darnell would dunk on him.
I know, but just see if he bounces him around with his chest like those.
Georgia at midfield.
Play action in is good now.
Good awareness from Bennett.
Boy, he did a good job of pressing us there. Just fake it and run to the boundary.
My perception is that the bye week did Stetson Bennett a lot of good to get that shoulder healthy.
Might have. Other things helped him is moving him around. Where's the ball now? About the 50 or where?
Yeah, it's right at midfield. 2nd and 10.
Bowers.
I say that about Stetson, and then he air mails it to Bowers.
Number 2's had a good game for him. Darnell, who's got this guy? It's hard to throw a swing pass when nobody blocks the perimeter. I guarantee they're going to light us up right here.
McConkey, Karras Jackson, Brock Bowers.
You got Bowers protecting here.
Marcus Roseman Jackson up top. Watch for him on this route. There he is. Oh, he had to go out for one hand.
Well, ran the yo-yo play. We ran about 3 minutes there and got 2 first downs.
Punt is away.
It's a good punt.
Going to be around the 15-yard line. That passing attack didn't look very in sync that drive.
Well, you had a busted route. You had a bad protection one play. You had a missed block on a screen pass. I mean, that's what Florida's counting on. We had a great first quarter, average second, right? They're going to have it 2 straight possessions here unless we can get some turnovers here. Watch the quarterback draw.
Munden in there.
Be ready to use your timeouts, Kirby. Don't do it to second down. After second down, you might.
Just not a clean quarter for either team.
If they run the ball here, we'll call timeout. They're not in any hurry, that's for sure.
Yeah, they ran it down to the final second.
Timeout, Kirby.
3rd and 12. And Georgia does call a timeout.
Good timeout.
Because you seem to be destined to get pretty good field position out of this.
Be nice to see a pick.
Georgia with nearly 300 yards in this first half. Florida with 76.
A lot of miss those. A lot of misses.
Mm-hmm. Georgia 3 of 7 on 3rd down, 1 of 1 on 4th down, 13 first downs in the game.
Based on Vanderbilt, we called the timeout, and then they hit one, and Kirby was mad. But if they hit this one, he'll never call another timeout at the end of the half. Come on, Jalen, get a safety.
Bear Alexander in there, Chas Chambliss in there.
Get a safety. We got Dime in there, Bullard, and we got Dime. Get him down. Get him out of bounds is even better.
Save your timeout.
We played Dime, as you said, Bullard, and we had two nickels.
Yep.
Ooh, nice job. Nice job by Dumas.
Michael says,
Pop.
why
You
would
see
he
him?
go out of bounds?
He just like, you felt Napier felt like you owed Kirby. I put Karras back there and catch one on the run here. You got to show some aggressiveness, McConkey. Catch it. Okay, we can at least get a field goal out of this. Stetson's ready to rock. Tell you something that's there for us. The way they're rushing, if we would run that quarterback draw like we did against Auburn or any kind of one-back draw, 25-2 on the superstars there. 5.
That's 6 punts for Florida. Georgia has 3.
Use Kenny Mack out of the backfield.
They're playing off Bowers. It's an easy 10 yards to Dylan Bell.
Well, he didn't make the first down. God, I know where the sticks are.
He was just playing chess with Brenton Cox.
We got 2 timeouts left.
Yeah, they called the one timeout, and then because Richardson went out of bounds, didn't have to call another.
There you go. Break the tackle.
McConkey with the first down for Georgia. They'll play fast and conserve the timeouts. Had to get rid of it.
They're a pretty good pass rushing team. Man, that was gone. Good block, Brock.
$39 seconds left here.
I like the way we could throw these screens on these guys the way they. I mean, four-man rush.
Empty backfield.
Kenny Mack didn't run a very good route there. Stem him up.
This would be a long field goal.
I don't think we'd try one with it unless we run a run play here. We might go for it on 4th down, though. Step up and hit him. There you go.
They're going to call him for offensive pass interference and pushing off.
Caught it on 3.
Wow.
He grabbed him first, though. I don't think the clock stopped it. Watch him grab him right here.
Yep.
Good play, McConkey, when we needed it.
He didn't really push off as much as he did just have his hand on his back.
Wow.
Yeah, he pulled down, though. I was meaning hand flat on the back.
Throw it to Bowers on the flag.
Went to Kyrus at the back pylon. Would you run it at all? With the time?
Not now. 1st down I would have. Oh, you're inside the 10. You got to let this guy move around. He's a sitting target back there. Fake it to him and bootleg. You got Washington out there by himself.
McConkey, that's a touchdown.
Did you see that check off?
I did.
Way to come back, lad. That's a great series after that one busted route. You see what I'm talking about the underneath stuff? I mean, it's easy to talk about after it works, but
Well, explain it to me.
both these guys are going to clear out, and he's going to come right back under.
Okay. Football's not that complicated.
Well, I mean, I saw it, but
No, it's that's a legal version of a pig play. Let's run off some coverage, and the space will be there.
that was a heck of a drive right there.
Podlesny converts the extra point. That's good for McConkey.
Stetson's about 250 passing right now, isn't he?
262. 2 touchdowns, 16 of 29.
We can hold our own scoring against Tennessee.
Bo Nix woke up. Oregon's leading Oregon 21-10.
California,
That's what did I say?
Oregon's leading Oregon.
Well, they are. Oregon is leading Oregon to a win over California. Let me check on your beloved Kansas State is leading 35-0 at halftime.
I don't dislike Oklahoma State as much as I sound like I do, but I don't really have any kind of affection for me. They found two guys under their stadium the other day. They've been playing hide and seek since 1948.
Hey, Lump Dog says, Coach, my family wants to know what a Chilardo is.
Oh, yeah, Lump Dog. He's always got to go. That's a big old person that.
Number 21 for Florida. That's a Chilardo, right?
But a big old Chilardo is a big Chilardo. It's not just a regular Chilardo. It's a big one. It's somebody that doesn't look like a normal Chilardo. It's a big one.
Remind you that we will quickly after.
I wonder if Florida's going to run the running play, see if they can get their yardage down there. There's Carter still in the game. This is a handoff over left guard.
There's the handoff. It went. He cut it outside, but
trying to help her yardage.
Got out of bounds again.
To me, you just fall on the ball there. All you can do is fumble.
So at halftime here, Roddy Nabolsi will join from Jacksonville and do a little halftime show.
One thing, too, that I need to give a little credit. One of the reasons I got a little affection for K-State winning is both of my daughters went to K-State because we moved there when they were in high school, and I coached there for a couple of years before I went to Missouri, and K-State Wildcats. But, back when I was coaching, they weren't very good, and you used to coach there in dog years. So every year you were there was like 7 years. So I was there for 21 years. But we won. I told everybody we won the first year. We won 4 games, and they lost 20 straight. And we beat KU the last game, and they left the scoreboard on for 2 weeks. You could just ride by them
and check it out.
K-State. But they also had a sign out on the interstate. It was Interstate 70. And so it said Interstate 70, KU nothing. That wasn't a score, but that's what I got to have some fun with it.
All right, it's time for our halftime show.
I dislike KU almost as much as I do Oklahoma State. Maybe, I respect Nebraska and Texas, but KU and Oklahoma State,
no.
But, hey, great half of football by Georgia. Defensively, just really impressed with the athleticism we're showing, the way we're around the ball. Boy, it makes my mouth water to know that Jalen Carter's back. I guess Smith's going to be out for the rest of the game. He hasn't gotten back in. But a lot of hope for that offense, the way we're really attacking these guys, don't you think?
I think so.
We really hadn't had to run the ball hardly any.
Thanks to Yancey Brothers. Thanks to Bud Light Next. Thanks to Athens Ford. I'm sure Roddy will mention them as well. And let's bring in Roddy Nabolsi from Jacksonville. We are going to get out of here.
Well, can I see him? What does he look like?
He's right here.
Hey, Coach.
What's up? Are you a Chilardo?
Yes.
Yes, he's a Chilardo.
Hey, Lump Dog. This is a Chilardo.
That's that guy, Lump Dog. There's a Chilardo. We got the Chilardo on at halftime.
That's an absolute Chilardo. Hey, everybody. I'm Roddy Nabolsi. I'm joining you for the halftime show. I'm here at the hotel at Jack's Beach. We've got all of our UGASports folks are actually inside the stadium. We got Anthony Dasher over there, Jed May, Patrick Garbutt, and Catherine Skeen. They have all the stuff for you. Heck, even Paul's over there at the stadium right now. So point being, we got a ton of people inside the stadium. I'm joining the watch-along show for halftime. Normally, we just put up the stats so that you can watch them. I want to call something to your attention when it comes to the stats. This is nuts. So right now, Georgia has 346 yards of total offense, 262 through the air. So Stetson Bennett, even though there were some drop passes, he has 262 yards. That's pretty good. That's usually what he had per game last year. He's had that in the first half. But remember, there was the Ladd McConkey drop. There was the Darnell Washington drop. Of course, then it was made up by the crazy catch by Brock Bowers. But, I mean, point being, he could have had much more. Florida has 88 yards. They got Jalen Carter yards. They got 88. And shout out to Jalen Carter getting in there. That's big news. We broke it yesterday. He was healthy. We weren't sure, though, yesterday if he was going to play. Now, we heard this morning that he was, but we didn't put that out there. We're not going to let everybody know what's going on. But, when it comes to game plan, because we didn't find out till this morning. But point being, Jalen Carter in there, you see how big that is. My fear, though, is how bad is Nolan Smith hurt? You need him. He's absolutely needed. So, let's see. Stetson Bennett is 16 of 29, 2 touchdowns, 1 INT. Crazy INT. That's nuts. Your leading rusher right now is Dajon Edwards. 46 yards. Kenny McIntosh has 32 yards. And Robinson has 4 yards. Your leading receiver right now is Brock Bowers with 4 catches for 125 yards. Remember when Georgia didn't have wide receivers that could get 100-yard games? So Brock Bowers, 125 yards with that long of 73, of course. And Darnell Washington with 3 catches for 47 yards and 1 that he wishes he could get back. So let's go through some of the comments here. Hey, Conscious Mind. Hey, Lump Dog. Hey, Trevor. Barry J. Abraham Seed. 400. Okay. Gregory and Tanisha. Appreciate everybody. So let me get here. Let's see. I want to bring up this comment here from Barry J. When we play UT, we can't have these drops and inaccurate passing. We need efficiency to keep the ball away from UT. Absolutely. You notice nobody was dropping passes until A.D. Mitchell went out, and then it just became a flurry. I mean, or maybe I'm just misremembering it, but that's surely the way it seemed. It just seemed like all of a sudden when he went out, things started to fall apart. I don't know if he's a security blanket for those guys or what's going on, but that is just will absolutely drive you crazy. And, yeah, you need to have some accurate passing, and they haven't had that. As he says, too good to make that many mistakes. It's true, but they do. It happens. Let's see. Not always. So Gregory Tanisha Davis responds saying it's not always that, but on Darnell and Ladd would have extended the drive because they were on 1/3 down. Stets has thrown a few bad balls in the coverage. What was the first one? I actually wrote it down. It was a head scratcher on the first drive. Think to Kyrus Jackson, threw it into double coverage, and at the bottom of the screen there was a wide open Ladd McConkey. So that was nuts. Hamwich, a longtime viewer of our show, says, could the drops be coming from trying too hard to make plays? Could be, but I mean, the one that hit Darnell could have been called. The one that hit Ladd McConkey is right in the numbers, as Dayne said, it hit him between the 8 and the 4. Well, I get it when you're diving for a catch or something like that. You're trying to force it. Well, perfect example, if we counted the Marcus Rosemy-Jack Saint one-handed dive, and we count that as a drop, which it wasn't. I mean, that was I don't know, the inaccurate throw, bad coverage, however you want to claim it. But that would be one I'm saying, okay, there's a guy trying too hard to make a throw, make a big play. But when you have one hit you in the hands like that, you're supposed to catch it. So that's just a pet peeve. The Wonder Brock was late. Yeah, hey, here's the thing. I say this every game, and I'll say it today, and I'll say it next week. You have 3 or 4 boneheaded plays with Stetson Bennett. Then you have 3 or 4 monster plays, great passes, great runs, stuff that makes him the reason that Kirby Smart says he's our best option. Those usually outweigh the boneheaded plays, and sometimes the boneheaded plays are more just an inaccurate pass. So let's count up the one for, like you said, the one that Brock that was late, or maybe the one to Kyrus. It's why did you go there when you had this other guy? So I don't know. Here's a good one. I like this one. Ladd may need a sports psychologist. He's had a rough few games. I asked this the other day, can a wide receiver get the yips? You know that from golf, and it just seems like he had, because remember, he had not, I don't think he had a drop pass. This guy caught everything. And then all of a sudden, I think was it the Missouri game, he had the dropped punts, he had the drop passes, and they stayed with him. And I've asked Kirby about this a couple times. I'm like, why do you stay with a guy? And does it change from position to position? So if your offensive tackle's out there messing up, you pull him, but you don't pull a wide receiver. Is it based on who's behind him, or does it change from position to position? If you have a safety that's missing, you automatically change the safety. But if you have a wide receiver, you don't change a wide receiver. So I don't know. This is a self-serving post right here. The sheriff says the 3-2-1 was awesome. Thanks for letting us know that Jalen Carter was playing. I don't know about us being better than Dog Post. There's some good folks over there. But point being, that's why you read the 3-2-1. I'd found out about it as I was writing it. That's not something I sat on all week. Remember on Monday or Tuesday, Kirby said, I don't think Jalen Carter or A.D. Mitchell are going to play. Carter's a little ahead of Mitchell. But that's not something I'm like, I'm going to keep that until the 3-2-1. I actually found out while I was writing it, and I'm like, where do I put this? Let me take out the line that says these two guys aren't playing, and then I stuck it in the end. Everyone thinks I did that on purpose. That's just because I was a lazy writer. So, do we see number 7 in the second half? Richard Allen asks. That's Arik Gilbert. No, you're not going to see it. I don't think so, unless Georgia scores another 2-3 touchdowns. Then you'll see him. But I just think that. Well, I take that back. Let's think this out, Richard. You're up 28-3. If you score 2 more times and they score once, you're still up, 4 scores. Now you start pulling everybody. Pull everybody that you can, but still run your offense. And you need 2 tight ends to run your offense, so you run a Rick Gilbert and Oscar Dell. But get all the guys out there. You've already lost Nolan Smith for the rest of the game. You don't want to see Brock Bowers get hurt. You don't want to see one of your offensive linemen get hurt. You don't want to see Stetson Bennett get hurt. Pull them all. So, but my first opinion is no, he's just not high enough in the pecking order, and the game will be too tight for him to get in. But hey, score a couple more times and he gets in there. Conscious Mind says Tennessee is a suspect defense. Offense is crazy good, but the defense can let them down. Yeah, absolutely. But you can't have these misfires, these drop passes, these missed blocks. Where was it? The 2 huge drop passes. That missed block on the swing pass. And granted, it looks like a bad throw from Stetson Bennett because it kind of was, and Brock Bowers has to go out. But where was the guy who was supposed to pick up the linebacker charge again? That play looked busted. And there have been a few other busted plays. Remember the run for on 2nd and 1? A couple mesh plays that just looked very, very confusing. So not sure exactly what's going on there. Most important question, John wants to know, is anybody heading over to the former landing tonight? Is the landing still there? I don't know. I haven't been there in forever. I'd be curious to see what's going on there. Let's get back to Gregory Tiana. Tanisha, excuse me. Says, I think our defense is a better fit to play Tennessee because we have linebackers who can cover. Plus, unlike Bama, we've seen the UT offense stay with wide receiver Ladd because his ability and great upside. He's just in a slump. And that's what Kirby's doing. Kirby went right back to him. They threw to him on that sideline there. I saw all the pundits on Twitter like, that's offensive pass interference. When you put your hand on the back of a guy and you just let him go by, you're just leading him. Now, when you're holding the back of his jersey, maybe, but it's not like you're slowing him down. What are you going to do, slow down the DB to keep him in the play with you when you're hitting the brakes? No, that was you run to a spot and stop. So he slammed on his brakes because that's where the ball was going to be. Holding his jersey isn't going to get him. So, but yes, you do have linebackers that can cover. And also, I pointed this out. Oh, thank you, Laser. In the 3-2-1 column, if no one read it, Tennessee is the 2nd most penalized team in the SEC. Alabama is first. Alabama has had 69 penalties. Nice. Georgia's had 28. Now, Georgia had a few in this game. He started off with a couple penalties, but think about it. 70 penalties to 30. Difference between Georgia being number 1, the least penalized team in the SEC, Alabama being the most penalized team, Tennessee right there with it. So hopefully when Georgia plays Tennessee next week, they keep that up and they have fewer penalties. Alabama gave that game away with a record-setting 17 penalties, record-setting for their entire program. They've never had that many in a game, which is mind-boggling. So that's part of it. Laser. Thank you. A great dog. I love it. Justin says, hope Nolan Smith is all right. I want to know that. That's the number one question right now is how bad is that shoulder? When he's coming off the edge, and you could have Jalen Carter, those two, that makes for a Hendon Hooker sandwich right there. You want both those guys. Alabama's got a new DB from somewhere, so they should be better. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. The sheriff says the landing is closed, and Brett Weimer says they tore it down. I do remember them tearing it down. I just don't remember if there's anything new there. A lot of times, when prime real estate like that, they tear it down and build something better or build something else. I want to get to Laser's comment here. Rest in peace, Vince Dooley. This game is for him. I know you guys have seen a lot of tributes to him. Everybody's got a Vince Dooley story. I have one too. I'll put it this way. I've been working for UGA from 93 to 2005. I worked for UGA. I was a team photographer. I was over there all the time. I met Vince, and he did a lot for me. He's helped me out. I've had a lot of great stories with him. I just want to say that that is a classy man. The epitome of a Southern gentleman, and I miss him a lot. So, and he's still doing. I mean, up until the end, he was still reading team notes, and the fact that if you think about Kirby Smart, he could reach out to Jim Donnan, Mark Richt, Ray Goff, and Vince Dooley and say, "Hey, we got Tennessee coming up. They run this hurry-up offense. Did you face it before?" And he just has this. I mean, just encyclopedic. It's shelf of encyclopedic knowledge amongst these 4 former Georgia head coaches here in town. I just think that's lovely. And yeah, you do win this game for Vince Dooley. You hang a 50 burger on him. You get 28 points. You left some points on the field the first half. Run it up to 50 to 6, or 56 to 6. Yeah, win by 50. Make it the biggest blowout in the history of this game, in the modern era. And then next week, now they're honoring Charlie Trippi this week. Next week, you have to honor Vince Dooley. And you're doing that when you're hosting a top 5 Tennessee team. Win one for Coach Dooley. So thank you very much for the comment there, Laser. Let's go with Justin's question. Says, I hope Carter stays in. Can't imagine not having Carter out, then Nolan out. That's too much of a loss of depth. Yeah. Right now, I'm like, hey, if that's another guy that, okay, he's gotten his wheels back. But he does have an ankle injury. He does have a knee injury. Maybe you say, okay, you've had your snaps. You feel good. We'll pull you, and let's put Bear Alexander in there on your spot on third down. But speaking of third downs, Georgia is number 1 in the SEC also in completing third downs. They complete 52% of their third downs. So more than half of Georgia's third down attempts are converted. Florida is the worst team in the SEC against stopping a team from converting a third down. They give up 53%. So real quick, I want to check out the stats on that. Let's see. Third downs. Yeah. Florida's 1 of 8. So they're not even that's not good at all. And Georgia's 4 of 8. I said Florida gives up 53%. They're right at 50% right now. So that is bearing out. And Georgia only gives up 29% on third down. So they're keeping Florida's converted 1 third down all game. That's pretty pathetic. But I love it. Let's see here. Oh, I like this from Thomas. Actually, this whole season could be a tribute to Vince, including an attic. That would be great. Again, think of 2 things about Vince. He got to see Georgia win another national championship last year. He was right there on the field. Loved every minute of it. Georgia flew him up there, as the ambassador that he was. And he was on the field when all the confetti came down. And when he left this earth, Georgia was still ranked number 1 in the country and about to whip Florida's ass. So that's a man who changed the program. So shout out to Vince. This is a good question from Laser. Why can't Stetson throw the ball consistently down the middle of the field? These amazing outside the numbers, which is harder than down the middle. Makes 0 sense to me. I don't know. It's there. He does hit some underneath guys. And then on that flea flicker, that looked to me like he just, he allowed McConkey just stay in the seam. The ball's there. So I think sometimes sometimes it's the routes and sometimes it's just the coverages. So I don't know if he can't or if he's just picking the other things. Like he threw that one to Kyrus Jackson in the middle, but at the bottom of the screen on the field side, you had Ladd McConkey behind the cornerback. So I don't know. It's a good question, Laser. I just don't get it. Oh, there's a high rise in the works down there. Makes sense. Hey, Michael. Thank you. I'm glad I'm not doing a drink a shot each time you guys do this. I'd be dead. But I'd be willing to try. So, hey, thank you, Michael. Appreciate it. Thomas Fansworth. Big O dropped a potential TD pass. He did. That was
he did.
Yes, that was a rough one. But it was also good to see that the football gods that normally abandon Georgia in this game, it looked like they had kind of abandoned them with the crazy interception and then that drop pass by Big O. They gave it back to you with a 6-bounce touchdown pass to Brock Bowers. So anyway, folks, I'm going to turn the show back over to Coach Donnan and Dayne Young.
I saw you have a super chat. We didn't have a super chat. I feel unloved.
Dude, 2.
Whoa.
They love me more than you guys, so y'all just remember that.
How many Bud Light Next are you in so far? I saw you loading up those cases into your Ford Explorer.
Let's not talk about that, but let's just say, hey, they're 0 carbs and 80 calories, so I can have as many as I want. And,
all right, then. And
I'll be a slimmer Chillardo, not quite the big Chillardo that I was earlier. So
moderate Chillardo. That's the space that I'm at.
All right, guys, y'all take care, and everybody tune into the post-game overreaction show about 30 minutes after this game ends. We will have a lot to talk about. Take it away, Coach Donnan and Dayne Young.
Thank you, Roddy. That was fun to have a halftime show. Coach, I know you wanted to say something a bit about your friend, maybe the best player you ever coached, at least one of the few, Champ Bailey. We saw him on the screen being inducted into we're going to say Georgia Florida Hall of Fame. I don't know which order they have it, but Champ Bailey, not enough surprise.
Yeah, I mean, so happy for Champ. I mean, he got in the NFL Hall of Fame. This year he's getting in the College Football Hall of Fame in December. He's already been chosen, gets inducted in December. And now the Georgia Florida Hall of Fame, he's a Hall of Fame person beside player, family, Mama Bailey, his brothers, Ronald, who has overcome cancer and is cancer-free now, boss, sister Doll, Danielle, what a great lady she is, good mother. Just a great family, and can't say enough about the Baileys. Just makes my heart warm to think about them. And also, we didn't get to mention something about Charlie Trippy passing away, another Georgia icon, 100 years old. What a great, just great ambassador for Georgia. Losing both him and Coach Dooley in the same month seems improbable, but they both did so much.
Full lives, both of them, that's for sure.
But this is going to be interesting here. We always talk about the mid-8, the last 4 minutes of the first half, the first of the second, 4 of the second half. We won the first part of the mid-8 there with a great stop on defense using our timeouts, and then a great 2-minute offense and 1-minute offense. So it'll be interesting to see if Florida tries to just establish some kind of running game and not try to win the game here. I mean, if they keep trying to throw the ball on early downs, it's going to be hard for them because, we got a good mix on them right now. And, oh, my goodness.
Who's down here?
Can't really see.
was on the kickoff, right?
Yeah.
19.
That's Darius Smith, I think. Isn't it? Took a shot to the chops. If that's not holding, what is it? He's going to be a good player for us. Very fast. Looks like he's lost his breath here.
Hope he's all right. No one better than Ron Corson be able to help him out there.
Yeah, whole team of people there in our training room just do a fabulous job. And the thing about it, they do a good job with ex-players, ex-coaches. I mean, you go over there, it's like a family. I mean, they take care of me like a doctor would. You know, I've got some injuries once in a while, I get some treatment, and I like just go over there and hang around the players, you know, and if I'm there, I'm gonna get some treatment.
You just want that Bones Cafe.
I don't get Bones. I don't. I
you
go
at least
by
want to
it.
see them cooking it.
I go by it, but I think it's out of. The only way I do that is if Kirby tells me to sit down and talk to him. I don't want to take advantage of that. I could eat there, I'm sure, but you know, Kirby had a little morale booster for our team last Thursday. On the off week, he had a couple of food trucks come by there. One had these funnel cakes that you could make and put whatever you wanted on them, you know, as far as chocolate syrup and all that. And then he had ice cream truck too. That
it was the little ice cream dude that has a shop on the east side.
So it was good morale. I mean, you know, you're finishing up halfway through the season, and there's Ryan. Ryan's kind of thinking about Kentucky tonight. His dad used to be the head trainer up there, and now he's assistant here, and his wife Collier is our nutritionist. But I hope he doesn't have some kind of injury to his upper body. That's just a blunt. I mean, that's a targeting, isn't it? The way he hit that guy.
I worry about like collarbone or something like that.
Yeah, that could be anything. But
Thomas, thanks for the super chat. I really do appreciate that.
So here we go. Starting over. Don't try to get too greedy here, dogs. We're bailing our coverage here.
Gators have the ball down 28-3. Screen on the outside. First
Very
down.
poor pursuit. What you got to do when you got a quarterback that's been kind of knocked around is give him some easy throws. That was one. He faked the play to the field and threw back in the boundary.
Going deep.
A lot better coverage there now.
Ringo.
Fool me once, not fool me twice. He was all over that one. And good call by Coach Napier. I mean, the only way you're going to get back in this game is deep, you know, get some explosive plays. You're not going to drive the ball on Georgia consistently, I don't think.
It's easy to see what a lot of scouts see in Richardson, just in how good of an athlete he is, because that was a quick flick, and he threw it down there pretty well.
Poor tackling by Georgia at this point. We're not ready to rock here. That shows you what kind of backs they got. This Etienne, I guess his brother is the one that's playing for Jacksonville. Good player. They've rushed the ball extensively on the year.
And then I say about Richardson, and he overthrows that.
He did, but we had inside out on the guy. He's telling us my bad, but this little boy here's got some pretty good route running ability. He's gotten open several times. Already 2 deep shots second half. I'm just hoping we can get through this game without anybody else hurt. And
Ryan Davis in there and making that tackle.
That was nice.
Robert Beal on the other side of it.
See some kind of exotic front from the Bulldogs right here. They're going to do something that they hadn't probably shown yet because they hold something to the second half. That's Kirby Smart. That's the way he does things. Don't let him work on it at halftime. We might see some real pressure here.
Chambliss in there with Nolan Smith out.
Some big Carter, 88 in your program, one in your heart. Quarterback run, yes, sir.
On 3rd and 9, going to try to
Get
run
him
up
down.
Seems like a conservative little play.
I think they're going for it here. You down 28-3. You go for it. Don't you?
I mean, I would. Maybe they were thinking we have 2 plays to get this first down, so let's get half of it.
They're going to go for it right here.
Okay.
4th and 5. That's why I wanted to get him down. 4th and 9, they probably wouldn't have.
Kirby orchestrating.
They really got the bubble screen into the boundary.
Carter lined up pretty wide here. They're going to get a penalty on Bear Alexander.
Stupid.
Georgia called a timeout and
stupid. I guess he didn't know it.
He probably either didn't hear the whistle or that's tough. Obvious wasn't intentional. He just didn't.
I mean, it's a good call by the ref. But did we call the timeout?
Georgia called the timeout.
I guess we thought they were going to punt or something. Don't get a lot of advice over there, but the bottom line is it's a hard play for a defensive player to know that the whistle blown.
Because when you see that ball snapped, you're thinking, I'm going.
Right.
I'm going. And
well, you're lucky. Down to the 30.
I can hear my dad in my head. Well, if you're going to get the penalty, at least get your money's worth.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though, about this game. I was just hoping we could take over it where we could rest some guys. But it's going to be a nitty-gritty game here now, unless they turn it over. You got him.
No.
Boy, it's a good athlete. He's always going to jump around you back there. You got to be under control. Good play, Dumas.
Impressive little flick from Richardson to get it out of there.
We've been missing too many tackles. Got a chance for lost yardage play. You got to get them.
Ringo.
It's obvious they're going to put the ball in this guy's hands.
He's their best weapon.
Poor play by Zero there.
Or Davis.
You got the quarterback.
First and 10 for Florida. In the red zone.
Malachi, you can't jump him, buddy. Guy got a bullet arm, doesn't he?
He has all the tools. Not quite as accurate.
Very fortunate there.
Go with 2 hands if you're a receiver, right?
Mm-hmm.
Good for Georgia that they did. Trips up top.
One of them going in motion.
On cue.
Watch the screen into the boundary. Four-minute possession here. Wonder what Spurrier thinks about those blue pants. Come on, Jalen.
That's a delayed game. Should have been.
God. Just outrun us. Shows you what kind of running game we got. That touchdown at the end of the half looks even better. We got Marvin Jones Jr. up in there. That's 3 quarterback runs on this drive.
Second and goal from the 2.5. Touchdown, Florida. Confidence booster.
15-yard penalty. This was what, going into the game on my scouting report, worried me. And as you can see the movement here. Watch the movement. Nothing by Chris Smith there filling in the A-gap.
A big drive for Georgia coming just in terms of momentum.
Yep. Confidence is boosted.
While we wait for Georgia's offense to come onto the field, let me tell you about our friends over at Athens Ford. So right now, Athens Ford has 316 vehicles available on their lot. And you know, in the last couple of years, how it's been difficult to find inventory for people that sell cars. And Athens Ford, they haven't had that problem, and they don't have that problem right now either. Go check out what they have over at athensford.com. Or if it's your availability that you're on Atlanta Highway and you want to go check out their lot, you can do it there. Or if you just want to set up a time, maybe they can Zoom or FaceTime you and check out what they have on their lot. Maybe you can ask some questions. Not a lot of pressure. They're not trying to get you into some deal you can't get out of. They're really straightforward and upfront with what they have. The Bronco is what I've been seeing on the road a ton. And Coach, I know that as you've been going back and forth to tennis, you even told me you've been seeing more Ford Broncos out there, and I think they've been coming from Athens Ford. You can even get yours done custom if you want to head out that way.
Yeah, they what they're going to do too is go in there with an open mind and see what you're interested in. You don't necessarily have to have a new car. You can get a pre-owned. You can order something that you want. They got access around the country on the internet to. They can get a car for you that, would like for you to get a Ford, but if you want something else, they'll get it for you and they'll service it and keep up with it. And there's nothing more makes you feel better than to know that your car's running right and somebody's taking care of it, because that can really discombobulate you when you start worrying about whether, hey, well, I've had trouble with my battery, or I've had my tires aren't balanced, whatever it might be. But just you're going to get a good deal from a service standpoint. That's what I'm always looking for too. So
lifetime powertrain warranty, student discount, military discount, a lot of great options for whatever your needs are. AthensFord.com. Go check them out. Wake up, Uga.
well, here's the thing about it. You're getting Georgia people. Somebody texts me, why isn't Carter in on the goal line? I think you got to be careful with him, with all those pileups. So they just using him on third down situation. There's a chance.
Kickoff only to the 10.
No block in the back. We're not doing very good on special teams today as far as movement. That's what happens a lot of times when you haven't been playing, though. Don't forget this stuff that worked for you now, Coach. Moving around's good. First down, particularly.
Georgia's leading receiver, Brock Bowers, 4 catches for 125 yards and the touchdown. Second leading receiver, Darnell Washington.
Means he got 3.
3 for 47. McConkey has 3 for 45. Starting on the ground.
Speed.
Oh, he fumbled.
Get on the ball.
It's still loose, and they got it. Disastrous third quarter for Georgia.
There's a terrible fall on the ball technique. When you fall, go to the side. Don't put your body on it.
Because you're going to bounce off of it.
Right. Watch Warren McClendon here.
He just got his arm ripped in there by 2.
See that?
Mm-hmm.
You got to kind of scoop it up. You just can't give them more life than we're giving them right now.
Gave him the ball, field position. It was a good run, too. Zero turnovers in the first 3 games, 8 in the last 5.
Still not many. 2 today. These guys right here got some juice in their joints.
Good play up front.
Show you what all 70 on the trip here. You got a chance to step it up here.
When Georgia got the momentum late in the first quarter, it was at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
And defensive and offensive. So can Logan Stackhouse create that opportunity for Jalen Carter to get on the field? Pop on the blitz.
Gracious spot there.
We're seeing Bullard in the open field one-on-one pretty often.
Be nice if we could get out of this with a field goal. Although I don't think they'd probably go for it. Let's go, sack it.
Carter's in there, 3rd and 6.
He's in the third down package.
Yep. Chaz Chambliss missed.
They just gashing us right now. They playing our formations. Look at that gash right there over the left tackle.
Mm-hmm.
Cracked on our safety. Good coaching. Quarterback sweep. The thing about it, the guy is stopped and he falls for 6 yards. 4 down zone. All of a sudden, this is a ball game.
Mm-hmm. And you said it a second ago, that touchdown that Georgia scored late in the second quarter.
Yeah, we've run one play in the first 8 minutes.
Massive.
Oh, Keeley, good play. We played zone there, and he had the wide guy, and he came back on the guy on Christopher Smith. Watch it.
So he's covering half the field to himself.
That is tremendous defense there. That is tremendous.
Made up for the earlier play?
Yeah. I don't know he did that, but the thing that was good was we weren't, we weren't just necessarily playing bump and run man. I worry about this guy scrambling for a touchdown here.
3rd and 8. That call tells me they were going to go for it on 4th down anyway.
They were if he made 4 yards, but now he's going to kick a field goal. You got to kick a field goal. You're down 3 possessions.
Yep, that's what he's saying now. Good stop by the defense there. He has a clock tattooed on his arm. Don't see many kickers with a big old clock tattooed on their arm.
Down the middle block.
That makes it 28-13.
Two-possession game.
If you have any questions for Coach Donnan, drop them in the chat here.
Don't have to worry about resting your starters now, boys.
I know fumbles are a part of the game. Is there anything you do to kind of coach of ball security?
Well, I mean, anytime you're getting wrapped up, you gotta scrape your rib cage. He got hit from the outside there. Extra effort.
Yep.
But things catch up with you.
2 pivotal plays here that turned into 10 points for Florida. The timeout where Bear Alexander got called for unnecessary roughness. Florida's drive extended, they score a touchdown. And then that turnover there from Kenny McIntosh.
Louisville kicking Wake Forest, but
That's a surprise. Lewis says, do you have any tips on how you get momentum back in a game?
well, offense got to take the bull by the horn here and let the defense rest a little bit. Keep the ball. I mean, we've run one play in about the last hour, right? I mean, had a 20-minute halftime, and they've had the ball the whole third quarter.
Mm-hmm.
So, whatever your best stuff is, you can't experiment here. Whatever you think the best thing we can do, which is throw it to Bowers or Washington, let's do it. Pick 6, Louisville.
Satterfield's trying to keep that job.
He can be 5-3.
He's been on the cusp all year long. The last time Florida kicked off, it was a short kick to the 10-yard line.
We made the adjustment here, hopefully, and block them a little longer. We got a chance for a return. This time he boomed it.
To the 1.5. Florida's flying.
If you're a championship team right here, you got to answer the bell there.
Which 3 annual regular season games take place at a neutral site? We know it's this one.
Army, Navy, Georgia, Florida, and OU,
Oklahoma.
Texas.
It's pretty easy. But not for long in Jacksonville.
Some of these Gators are coming back in the stands.
Oh, Stetson.
You just missed him.
That was rough.
I think he broke the route off. He's pointing deeper, so I guess he thought he was going deeper. But you got to read the coverage too, Sets, and the guy was back. You need to.
Some sloppy play here from Georgia.
It's a way to run that rock. Let's go. Get up and roll here.
I like putting it right back in Kenny McIntosh's hands, too.
Show some confidence. And look at this blocking. Good job by Willock there, wasn't it? Keep pounding it. Rest your defense. Answer the drive.
McIntosh stays in the game.
There it is.
Good high
That's what I was
stepper.
talking about, that Edwards earlier, breaking it outside. I mean, that was a smart run. Keep him in there.
We saw how they brought Kieris across the formation here.
Yeah. Kieris block run support.
Yep. And he didn't get some big pancake block or anything, but he got where he needed to be.
Yeah.
Sometimes footballs just occupy the space.
We got 3 tight ends in now.
Delp's in there. He threw a
Jesus
pick.
Christ. Wow. Threw it to the wrong guy.
They're going to call some hit against Edwards.
Why wouldn't you be throwing it to Kenny McIntosh instead of him?
So I think it's going to be a pick and then a penalty against Florida for maybe targeting.
We get to stay in?
It was a hit against Dayne Edwards the Florida player hit Dayne Edwards in a way that looked illegal to me.
Yeah. They're going to get the ball. During the play. Interception during the defense.
So it's Florida's ball. They get backed up a little bit. All right, what'd Stetson say here?
Well, you got to lay it up there.
Got to go a bit over the top, don't you?
Right. This guy should have been out here, out on the boundary here. I mean, you got a flood route, and you got to be wider, and it's a bad throw to just giving this thing back to these guys. Fortunately, got the penalty there.
Well, if you want something given to you, it could be this Yancey Rentals tool bag. If you go to yanceyrents.com, you can be one of the first 100 customers that mention Jim Donnan and the UGA Sports Watch Along show, and you can be eligible to get this. Well, it's not even be eligible. It's not a contest. If you're one of the first 100 and you rent some Yancey equipment, Caterpillar or otherwise, then that bag could be yours. I will bring up Yancey's yancey.rent.com so you can see what it looks like. Here we go. Boom. So this is YanceyRents.com. That's what you need to get you started. So Yancey Rents is Georgia's premier equipment rental company, not just renting the Caterpillar equipment, but 20 other manufacturers for job site equipment. It's the stuff that you don't want to buy. Maybe you need it for a short-term amount of time. You can rent it. The extensive fleet of equipment for rent or for sale, if you'd rather have it, purchase yourself, includes aerial lifts, light towers, portable heating and AC, landscaping equipment, and more. Whether you're in Calhoun, Brunswick, Columbus, Albany, or the new Athens store that's just past the mall, you can go check it out. They offer daily, weekly, monthly rental rates, and they deliver as well as 24/7 service. Check out YanceyRents.com. Again, if you're one of the first 100 to rent some Yancey equipment, then you can get this free red and black tool bag. It's a really nice bag. I do think you could use this when you go play tennis.
Yeah.
That's your tool.
Yeah, that's good. Is that my microphone? You hear me all right?
I believe so. Yep, we got you.
There's a situation there where two misreads by our receivers and a bad throw by the quarterback. One on Bowers on the crossing route, stay on your vertical. And then that one there, if you're going to flood the ball, the receiver needs to be between the numbers and the hash mark. He was almost on the hash mark. You see that? And the guy fell back on it. So you got three receivers running, one clearing out, one going on the post, and then the other guy's got to be down on the boundary. So you either catch it for on the out of bounds or never come back underneath.
On that particular one, too, from a personnel standpoint,
Kenny Mack.
Right. Dejan Edwards is not going to be your premier route runner.
I don't think Kenny Mack's caught a pass today.
In the stat book, they have him as one catch for -5 yards. So
that was that little flare ball.
Mm-hmm.
This would be amazing if we could get out with it just a punt.
Pop's having a pretty good game.
Small London in there too, but we got Chambliss playing most of the snaps now with Smith out. We haven't seen 13 play that much.
There's Carter on third down.
About time he threw one to us, Richardson.
He's gone. I don't know what happened there.
I think we ran a corner blitz and the safety didn't come over the top.
Wow. $78-yard touchdown for Florida.
That's what you do there. You go for one now and then go for two later. Let's see if the corner blitzed there. Oh, Malachi John went for the interception and looked like we're in cover two. Great throw. All right, boys. I'm just serious. This game's on the rocks right now. We got to.
I'm of the camp that you always kick the extra point in these situations until you have to go for two.
Yeah, that's what I just said. Go for two after the next one, because if you went for two, if you went for two now, and you didn't get it, you wouldn't have a chance. They call us for leaping there, I bet.
They inclined it, they'll take the points.
I think I would have taken the penalty and gone for two there.
So that half.
Yeah, 1.5. It's going to be a lot easier when you got to go for three. But Georgia Bulldogs got to give the Gator. This is the kind of confidence that kid. He's going to walk on water and out. the velocity with which he threw that made that pass, though. You know what I mean? Because I don't think Malachi thought so. The corner's playing short and the safety's deep. His angle to the ball should have been like this instead of like that. And then by going like that, he tried to reach up to get it. But if you read the depth of the receiver and get where you can bisect that angle, he was just sitting there instead of backing up and then playing it. So he just overplayed it and they hit it. Bust. It's a bust. 78 yards. We talked about big plays as their best shot. I was saying we can get off the field with 3 and out there, but again, though, that turnover happened on their end of the field, though, right?
It did.
Georgia, if you want to be the dang SEC champions, you gotta get your stuff together here, boys.
17 unanswered points for Florida, and Georgia's part of that was a critical penalty and 2 turnovers. That tends to be how football works.
They did the same thing to Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
Take over this game, move him around. Florida's going to keep taking chances.
Gators now with 247.
Roddy talked about the best chance they had was us giving it to them. That's what we've been doing, and then they've deserved it too.
Another short kick. Georgia's not really getting lanes on these kick returns.
Was it 23-yard line?
Georgia started at the 22. But he fielded that at the 3.
Show some heat here.
Some people in the chat saying Georgia's got a bit complacent on offense. Just 2 turnovers.
I'd say right now, based on my old coaching, I would run that sucker till he stopped us. Because we've been stopping ourselves in the passing game, although we did have the turnover on the run. By the way, don't take him out.
Dejan Edwards in there. He gets the carry, nothing.
That was a run defense there. They just jumped around their guards. Watch this.
Second and 12. Bauer's not even in the game. That's a catch for Rosemy. Great job.
That's a good little hairy throw there. Take it out.
Good block.
When I say take it out, I mean threaten the perimeter.
Darnell Washington with a good block out there. Watch him come back here. Whoop.
Put Kenny Mack back in. There you go.
Mack and Bowers back in too.
There it is. They ain't got the answer on the off tackle play.
Hammer and tong, right?
Look at. Look, Stay with it.
2nd and 2 as we get close to the end of the third quarter. A quarter that's been dominated by Florida.
They're gonna jump around right here.
Little counter.
Break it.
Squeaks through. That's a touchdown, Dayne Edwards.
That's where he's so good of just kind of feeling it a little bit. I talked a little bit earlier about maybe he was feeling it too much, but he got behind her tackle and they didn't see him and he just bounced it out. Outstanding answer to that question. Watch my boy Brock Bowers there come around.
Willock too.
That was the counter that you and Brent talk about, but Bowers turned it up good, and so did Willock. It's pretty obvious we can run the ball on these guys, but
I mean, Edwards just plays so low to the ground.
Can't see him.
It's almost like he and Kendall Milton are the opposite kind of running backs because Milton's so big and tall.
He just ducked there. You just saw him. He just went.
Yeah.
I predict.
That's a exhale.
I predict that on this kickoff, one of our players will have some kind of little like pull muscle or something, so our defense can rest longer.
Really impressive running drive from Georgia. Needed.
Well, everybody's just going to talk about the turnovers and I mean, I don't know what Roddy, just lucky, I guess, but he was saying their best chance is for us to have penalties and turn the ball over. Didn't he say that or something like that? Read that.
Was that the I know sometimes you get the title wrong. It's 1, 2, 3 or ABC here.
But he was right. I mean, you could lose to them, but
yeah,
they can't beat you. But I give them credit. They're going to be hard to stop the rest of the game here because their quarterback's on fire. And giving a lot of juice to Tennessee, seeing what they're doing to us.
While we have 15 seconds, let's sneak in a word from our friends at Bud Light Next.
Zero carbs beer is here. Introducing Bud Light Next. 0 carbs, 80 calories. Super crisp light beer. Bud Light Next. Brewed for what's next.
Saying, but we stopping ourselves.
Stetson Bennett with the pep talk. That's a boot. That hit the green grass on the other side of the paint.
Yep.
All right, this was the easiest athletic trivia question I've heard in a while.
We had it.
What's it like coaching that state fair?
Hard because it's just a massive humanity. You just had the Georgia-Florida game and 250,000 extra people. I did like after the game when we won, we'd go to the fair, though, and corn dogs. And I actually had a fried Oreo one time. Big fried Oreo. It wasn't very good.
Pressure on them.
This guy's making us look bad back there.
Starks.
Talking about sacking him.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we're exposing ourselves too much with this pressure.
It's a 3-yard run. I suppose that based on that athletic trivia question, you are in a unique position of coaches that have coached in both of these things, and at least 2 out of the 3.
I don't know who else has coached in both of them, but
I'm sure there's been some assistants and things like that. But well, Shane Beamer being one, he's done it.
Yeah.
Speaking of, let's go see how that Battle of the Columbias is doing. As
17-10 last time I looked.
Georgia heads to the fourth quarter here. 20 to 10 is Missouri leading South Carolina. Be quite a letdown to have that win over A&M, and then, but Missouri has a good
beat
defense.
Kentucky too. Yeah. Kentucky game, they're warming up right now.
Georgia has 456 total yards in this game.
Yeah. Well, we didn't do our job as a total team in that quarter. I mean, defense didn't get any stops on the first drive, penalty, then turnover points. I mean, they've got 10 points off turnovers, right? A field goal and then that long.
Mm-hmm. Well, they had the 10 off the turnovers, and the penalty included 17 points.
Then you had the long throw. But Brian Bosworth, he played in that game. Now he's a sheriff on Dr. Pepper.
I hope our audience has noticed that when we started the show, we had our Yancey tool bag here with Elvis behind it. And as we've gotten closer to Elvis time, Elvis is kind of peeking out.
Yeah, I was all set to do a lot of Elvis the fourth quarter, but
it may be a little while.
But, they can rent from a lot of different places. It's not just online. They've got some stores like you can go to, right?
Sure.
Where are they?
Well, they really have 20 locations around the state. You can check it out. One in Athens, anywhere from Calhoun to Albany, or Savannah to Columbus. Just go
Let's do it for the old coach. Go in there and rent something for me. I don't know what I need up here, but just tell them that we told them to send you, and they'll give you one of these bags if you rent something from them. They just want to get their stuff out and explain it. And I think this is a good source for it. All the dogs, and we got to play better this fourth quarter now. Just got to play a lot smarter.
Barry says, who cares about the yards? How many drives ended with nothing? That was kind of my point, that Georgia's been able to move the ball, but based on that amount of yardage, you would think they'd even have more than 35 points.
Yeah, we've had some up and down plays. Execution wise, there's a lot of things that got to happen for a good play. And sometimes when you have some miscommunication, a receiver goes one place and you think he's going another, or vice versa. We've had a couple of those today, and that's part of college football. I mean, you can't be perfect. You can't read the defense perfect. And he had one bad throw that was an interception. The one should have never thrown the one over them to Edwards, but the one to 8 Blaylock. I mean, he hit him in the hands, but I noticed they haven't put Blaylock back in. It wasn't
his fault.
Guy just made a heck of a play. But
Michael Jones with a question about the Aflac trivia question. Why didn't they count the Arkansas Texas A&M game at Jerry World? It's saying annually, and I don't believe that game is annually.
Yeah, it's a good point though. They've started playing it more there, but
and it's not a historic rivalry in there.
It hadn't been since Caesar went over the Rubicon, that long ago.
James Lewis asked, where is Kendall Milton?
He's dressed out. I mean, he just having to work his way back in the lineup, I guess, after being injured.
Fourth quarter. Here we go. Georgia up 15 points.
We just got a 3-man rush here.
They're going to call pass interference there.
Jesus.
How do you teach a player not to?
First of all, you don't let the guy run by you like Lassiter did, and then you get there and you hit him in the open field. Find the ball.
Do you play the man or do you play the ball?
Well, it depends on the technique. If you're playing man coverage, you got to play the man. But if you're playing zone, you play the ball. Uncatchable, right?
Kirby doesn't seem too upset about that one.
Did they call it untouchable? Uncatchable? I mean, not untouchable. I think they might have.
I think they might have too.
You can't see it though because he's.
I like that tie that Brad Ness was wearing though. It is 3rd and 7, so they're saying it was not a pass interference penalty.
Ostensibly, if we stop them here, the game should be over.
I like that word.
He's going for it again.
mean, down 15 points with – you almost have to, don't you?
That's 3 times a day he's gone for it. Run the ball on third and long. I was wrong if we stop them here because now it's 4th down. I thought they might punt. I think 4th down. Is Carter in there?
He is over the left guard.
That's a delay of game every time.
Ain't no point in throwing it away on 4th and 6, my guy.
I don't know what it takes for them. They're probably lucky up. He's going to say that they had to delay a game prior to the snapping the ball. I bet you that's how lucky they are.
Jalen Carter. Did they put a running back on him to help?
All right, Georgia, put them to sleep.
Napier's a pretty cool customer. You don't see him get flustered over there.
Played quarterback. Run the counter again. Bowers up inside.
Georgia takes over in Florida territory. There's
Running the
McConkey.
rocket play. There you go. Speed. We used to call that 48 and 49 rocket, but a lot of people call it jet sweep. But Bowers did all he could.
Good job, Roseme downfield.
I'll take 7. We're going to run it to the left here.
RPO.
Come on, Jarnell. Take it easy, Stetson. Body language is terrible. I think you'd hand that one off. This is where if you throw the ball on 2nd and 3, it puts a lot of pressure on your offense. Now it's 3rd and 3.
McIntosh, the back in the game.
We got it.
It's a good play.
When I say we got it, I mean I'm just talking from a coach's perspective. They had the screen out here. I mean, it's
Skilled guy
watch
behind
these
your
2
two
guys
blockers.
block here. Bowers gets the most dangerous. The other guy makes a tackle, but it's 5 yards down the field. That's what you want. It's like running option football. About time to hit Bowers on a wheel. He hasn't caught a pass this half, has he?
He has not. Though not many players have.
How many completions? We've had like 2. $100 yards rushing second half. Fake and keep it one time.
Edwards and McIntosh are knocking on the door of 100-yard games. Just had to get rid of that.
They sucked us in there. Take it easy on him, Kirby. He can't do everything. They faked us out there. Back each other up, man. Don't be on each other. This could be quarterback draw.
Going empty.
Bowers down the middle.
A lot of space there.
Bowers down the middle.
Tick, 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 tick. He got it off. Intended for Roseme, incomplete.
Right there should take over the game, boys. Not very good route there. You got to stem him up. He just ran right underneath him, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. It's a good play by Dayne, though. Marius Mims down on the ground.
I hope he hadn't hurt his knee. Finally getting to play. Where's the ball?
On the 33-yard line.
Oh! Thank goodness he had on a brace. So it's a 50-yard field goal?
Just hoping that's some kind of hyperextension and not any ligament damage.
If you kick a 50-yard field goal, you're up 3 scores, right?
Well, with it being 35-28, that'd make it an 18-point game.
It's 35-20 right now.
Oh, 20. I said 28. I was doing math in my head, and I went to journalism school, so said the wrong thing.
The one thing we haven't done this whole half is roll our quarterback out.
And that's what they did so effectively in the end of the first quarter into the second quarter. Missouri now leads South Carolina 23-10. That game has 13 minutes left. From what I've seen from South Carolina offense, I'd say goodnight, Gracie, to that one.
Yep. Too bad on that.
With 6 minutes left, Kansas State 41, Oklahoma State 0.
Bowers no touches this half.
None.
Washington done either too.
Couple attempts for him, but nothing hauled in. Louisville 48, Wake Forest 14. Notre Dame with a big bounce back to beat Syracuse 41-24.
We're going for it here. Might try to draw them offside here.
What do you think Podlesny's long is?
Obviously, it's not that.
Oh, they got him off sides. Free play.
Go to your how many has he caught this half?
Now one.
It's a joke.
I answered anyway.
Really good call on me telling you you'll get him offside too.
Look at you. You just hit the 2 for 1.
That's good coaching there by Kirby Smart.
Good throw. Good
I
adjustment.
wish he'd got the touchdown. We're in an unbalanced line here, probably shifting over now. One of them's going in motion.
Push them in. They did.
Yeah! That's a good run by
He just said something that is going to be repeated.
we got a pretty good offense, really, when they operate. But that was coaching by the old ball coach there. Get Kirby running the hard count and then going to your horse. Probably got our attention doing this more than just a complete blowout, about, hey, that's how teams can play with you. Well, the line's what, 22.5?
Well, I think Elvis can pick up just a bit more. Not time yet.
Jones got in front of him so he couldn't see what he was saying.
Good response from Georgia. That could have turned sideways.
Just you got to go to your horse.
I think at this point, all eyes now shift, at least for the day, to Knoxville, Tennessee. I don't think that next week could potentially be a 1 versus 2 matchup, but it would be 1 versus 3. You think College Game Day would be here regardless of the result of Tennessee?
I don't know.
Alabama LSU is a big game too.
Yeah, but they haven't been here this year, have they?
Have not.
How many yards passing has he got now?
316.
So I wonder what Roddy's saying about the Budweiser next.
Well, you know, he's hosting the post-game overreaction show from down there, and that may get a little squirrely if he's had a lot of these Bud Lights next with him.
There's going to be some overreaction. People are going to be mad that we let them back in. But
hey, I think you score 42 points against Florida. I don't care who's on the rosters. That's an accomplishment and one that deserves celebration. This game and this atmosphere is not always the easiest thing to perform. We've seen a lot of good teams go struggle really hard down there, and Georgia's just made some critical errors. It's moved the ball all game long.
how many Bowers had today?
5 catches for 154 yards.
You should get 10 a game. Be nice to see a turnover here. Got a fantastic player.
He's due for a pick, isn't he?
Got to get lined up, defense. Tell you what, he's a statue back there. Moving statue.
Richardson's passing stats, 15 of 29 for 210 yards and a touchdown.
70-yard on one throw.
Mm-hmm. He only has 12 yards rushing, and now that accounts for some of the lost yardage plays.
There he goes.
That's when he's most dangerous, isn't it?
Guy's really good. He looks like a man among boys. There's a clip. Keeley. That was RPO. Gonna see that next week. Gosh.
That's a good play.
Yeah. Like says, get a turnover here. He was open. This is where they like to inside slot receiver on a number one up there. He's going to run a flag route. Right here down at the bottom, he's going to run a flag on this guy. Yep. Good cover, Bull. Bull knew it too. Good job, Bullard. See the flag? I don't know why they don't call it a pylon route, but it's a flag. But they never had pylons in the old days. Used to have flags down there, but now he's going to run around forever and throw one up in the end zone, and one of the teams is going to catch it. I hope it's ours. Watch him run around for 3 days and 14 nights. We got a safety blitz.
Oh, Pop. Did you throw it away on 4th down again? He just threw it up.
Malachi.
Padding his INT stats. Is that his 3rd or 4th?
That was 4th. 4th down. Oh, it was his 3rd interception. One of them didn't count, but look at his pressure. We're running safety blitz.
Make the tackle, Pop.
What an athlete.
Yeah, that's not going to be
too bad. They get the ball on the 10. We would have got it on the 20. If they give it to us on the 20,
his knee is injured. That shouldn't be a pick because the ball hits the ground, but
maybe they won't review it.
John Adams says, wow, coach, Nostradamus.
Yep.
I'm not giving you as much credit since you had the 2-for-1 earlier with Bowers.
Yeah. I'm not. I don't.
You said draw them off sides and get it to Bowers.
Yeah, we need that one on the. Maybe put. Ooh,
So a bit more drama than I think most of us thought would be in the second half, but overall, Georgia's
You
responded.
just like to see a nice 90-yard march here. Good job defense holding them out of the end zone there.
Since Florida beat Georgia in 2020, Florida's 14-13 and Georgia's 25-1.
It's pretty good.
Florida's one of those programs that just doesn't make sense to me how they could fall to this level. I mean, you had the stat you sent me a few weeks ago of
Players, they get
their SEC
we got
record.
We got big boy in there.
Yard
You
and a
got to
half.
show some poise here, boys. There's not much movement there. Move the quarterback. If you run a naked bootleg just once today. Fake to the left, run to the right, stand up, sit down, fight. Washington's crossing, Bauer's in the flat. Big boy. Whoo!
The closer?
They talk about what the Florida guy can squat.
Woof.
Our guy can too. That's why I knock him off the ball. Run that counter again. We're actually huddling up and using some clock. Counter. Nice. 6 yards. Brendan Cox, Colorado.
I'm sorry to laugh.
I wonder how many tackles he made today.
I know Cedric Van Pran is smarter than I ever was.
He brought his grade point average from Georgia down there to help it grow, make it higher.
Injury-wise, a lot of things to monitor after this game. Mims, Nolan Smith.
Yeah.
Stetson Bennett's line, 19 of 37, 316 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
We might try to draw him off sides again. Turn it up. Turn it on.
That was kind of a pitch, kind of a toss.
Yeah. There's a lot of people who like for Georgia to score.
Kind of a shovel. Well, if you took the over, you're in the clear.
It's 22.5, isn't it?
I'm saying the point total over.
What was that?
I think it was 54.5.
He's thrown his last pass today. Counter again.
Branson Robinson.
He started out on the 10-yard line. Has run it every play except one, right? We got something going with that counter. Was that 7 blocking there?
There's a penalty. They're calling Willock for holding here.
Shit. That was 77 then.
Yeah.
First penalty on the offense in a long time. Well, you might have to throw one here.
Georgia has 4 penalties for 40 yards. One was critical.
Corner blitz.
Dayne Edwards did pass 100 yards. He has 105. Kenny McIntosh had 90. 4 rushing touchdowns for Georgia.
Arian Smith out on the perimeter here. Throw him a post route. They can't cover him.
They are passing. And they went that way. Hey, he got pulled. It's going to be PI.
It wasn't. Hey, they're listening to me, man. Arian Smith, he ran a double move and the guy.
We'll stop and go. So they're calling holding instead of pass interference.
Just a question if somebody's going to sneak through here and score for a backdoor cover or not. Kirby going to fall on the ball.
Well, you know, TCU had that one at the end.
What's this? Put Gilbert in there and let him run the Statue of Liberty. Toss.
He ran straight into massive Chillardo.
That wasn't a very long penalty there. What, defensive holding, that's 10 yards?
Yes.
They blitzing.
Nothing doing. More than
Freak.
I thought.
You guys are a freak. He put Milton in, maybe? Nope, he's over there giving him 5.
Dayne back in. Penalty.
What was it?
I saw 2 flags here. And they didn't stop it, so would that be offsides? No. Illegal formation? Or false start?
Bell didn't allow it.
So Bell should have been on the line of scrimmage and he wasn't.
Yeah. Kick a field goal, Kirby. Let the guy practice one. It's 4th down. Get out of the way.
I mean, the ref was in his way when he wanted to snap it.
He called timeout.
Well,
You think the guy heard me? Go over our commercials here one more time here. I've been waiting all day. I got to take one potty break here.
well, our friends at Yancey Brothers will tell you one more time. If you rent from Yancey Brothers, that was the chair. That was not Coach. If you if you rent from Yancey Brothers, and that's as simple as going to yancey-rents.com. If you're one of the first 100 to rent from them, they will mail you a bag, Yancey Brothers tool bag, red and black with a Georgia state outline on it. And they'll get that to you as long as you tell them that you learned about it from Jim Donnan on the UGA Sports Watch Along show. So go to yancey-rents.com and get some equipment that can be used for whatever project that you are working on. It doesn't have to be Caterpillar. Could be some other brands, 20 manufacturers. Pick them up from anywhere from Calhoun to Brunswick and Columbus to Albany. Also want to say thanks to our friends at Bud Light Next. That's Leon Farmer and his team in the Athens area distributing Bud Light Next. It is a great beer with 0 carbs. And as always, thanks to Athens Ford for being a sponsor of our work for UGAsports.com. Coach, we've had a few people ask your general opinion of Georgia and Tennessee and how that matches up. I've resisted those questions up to this point.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for us is what kind of rush we're going to get on the guy, because we're going to have a hard time covering him. They got good receivers, but they're going to have a hard time stopping us. This is the kind of game that our offense really it's got to take over. I mean, you can see what we did to Florida. That's what we're capable of, but we can't have some wasted series like we did today with, a couple threes and outs. It's hard to move the ball every down, but I think philosophically move Stetson around maybe a little more than we did this week, because they blitz 100% more than Florida does.
Yeah.
And but you're going to have to score some points.
Well, the perception is that Tennessee is this monster passing attack, but they run it very effectively off of
it. They take advantage of 5-man box. It's going to be interesting to see if Kirby throws the ball here.
139 left. Darnell Washington. They're going to say incomplete.
He made the first down, didn't he?
They're saying he didn't complete the catch. So they called it an incomplete pass.
Good call.
So
he ran 2 steps with the ball.
The game film from this, I'm assuming, is a bit of a coach's dream, where you have a 22-point victory, wasn't really in doubt at the end, but you have a lot of stuff.
Oh, yeah. You got the one turnover I don't worry about. That was just a remarkable play. But,
fumble.
We had one fumble and you had one poor throw by, we just expect so much from Stetson. That
one bad penalty.
Yeah. Well, that penalty on the Bear.
And then just some drops and some poor route running.
Yeah, they're gonna get some cheap yardage here.
And some missed tackles.
Yeah, I mean, I told you before the game, our defense has trouble against the run now. We started out the game pretty good, but second half they ran the ball on us. But of course, when you're up 28-3, you're playing the pass, and that's the longest play that we've given up this year, that 79-yarder, wasn't it?
And that's the longest I can remember.
Well, we had two teams scored 20 on us this year, Kent State and these guys, right?
Missouri scored 22 on Georgia as well. Missouri and Kent State both scored 22.
Forgot about those Tigers. Did they end up winning?
Last I saw, it was still wrapping up. They're up 23-10 with 2:38 left. Well, this is the beginning of Georgia's toughest stretch of its regular season of Tennessee, Mississippi State, Kentucky, the last two of those being on the road.
It'll be interesting to see if Richardson's in the game here. If I'm Coach Napier, I don't put him in there. I mean,
There he
I'm
is.
worried about him getting hurt here.
Can't imagine that game at Kentucky on November 19th is going to be a lot of fun to play in because you know it's going to be chilly.
Yeah, I hope it's in the daytime. We got Nyland Green in a corner up there. Back off of him. We're going to throw some out routes.
You were down. Ryan Davis, a little gimpy. That guy's had such a injury history. I hate to see him get banged up.
Just split. Did the split. Maybe pull his groin.
What have you assessed from Billy Napier and kind of Florida's trajectory?
Did a good job coaching, get his team back in the game. I mean, they had every reason to think they were destroyed, but they did a good job second half.
When he was hired, they also hired a massive staff, just a ton of people behind the scenes.
Yeah. Over $2 million more than what they were paying for those guys.
But obviously the biggest thing for Florida that they have to turn around recruiting.
Yeah. I think they've shown a little bit of that too. Playing Dayne Everett. What's his first name?
Dayne.
Yeah. Please.
Recruiting is going to be a tough road for Florida in the sense that Georgia's really good. You're seeing Tennessee pick it up, especially with some of the NIL stuff. And then theoretically, Miami should be in the hunt for a lot of the players that Florida's interested in. But it's a talent-rich state, so they should always have a pretty solid roster.
Did it again. Was he out of bounds?
He caught it and then stepped out.
Shit.
Completion.
Get one of these cheap-ass scores here. All you had to do is catch the ball, Darnell. Game was over. He's had 2 drops today, didn't he? 3, maybe. That one over the middle. Darnell Washington did, right?
Yep. Chaz Chambliss got knocked off, but Michael Williams got there.
Big.
He's a little slow off the snap, but made up for it.
We'll take it. Did they call timeout?
They did. I guess he just wants to finish a drive.
I'd say overall we pressured him pretty good, though. You know.
I mean, he's a quality athlete. He's going to make some plays. Oregon beat Cal 42-24.
Cover.
Louisville beat Wake Forest 48-21.
What was the South Carolina Battle of the Tigers?
Missouri beat South Carolina 23-10. UCF, Gus Malzahn
Beating Cincinnati?
beat Cincinnati 25-21. Another
There's
sack. Chambliss.
2 sacks at the end of the game here by the Dogs.
SMU beat Tulsa 45-34.
Is the Tennessee game started?
Not yet. It will right about now.
Kirby. Miguel.
You know, with there not being some big upset so far today, makes me a little worried for Tennessee because there's very few weeks in college football that we just kind of go chalk.
True.
But it's in Neyland.
Sorry for me if they lose.
Pitt and North Carolina is tonight. That'll be a tough one that may be the upset.
Don't get a penalty here. Good stop there by the Dogs.
One kneel down and that'll do it. Hey, there's a generation of Georgia fans that may not understand that it ain't easy to beat Florida. So anytime you do like this, it really is a celebration.
How many? What's this? Kirby's 7th year?
Yes. Third time in the last 6 years that Georgia starts 8-0. Do you practice victory formation?
Heck yeah. Somebody had a motion penalty on victory formation the other night.
So Georgia beats Florida 42-20.
Yeah, I mean, you can dissect it or trisect it or do whatever you want to, but Georgia answered the bell in the end of the third quarter and started the fourth when the backs to the wall down 28. They were 28-20. And we got 14 unanswered there.
I think you can easily see how Georgia has the talent that it can win a national championship. But I think you can also see that if Georgia makes mistakes.
This win goes to Coach Dooley, and he would have been so proud of our first half. He might not have been proud of our second half, but Coach Dooley's meant so much to this university, and his family has meant so much to us and all the people in Athens. This win's for him.
When you look at what this guy was able to accomplish out there, 2 acrobatic catches, what can you say about your player?
He does it every day. Competitive excellence, we call it. He's got it, and you can't get him to say a word, so good luck. Go Dogs.
All right, well, I'm going to try my best here. So what was going through your mind when you were making those catches?
I just saw the ball I was going for. I didn't really think too much.
It seems like your relationship with Stetson Bennett is growing each and every week. What's working for you guys?
Yeah, it's just about practice. Like we're just getting stuff down in practice, and like all the guys, we're just working hard in practice all out through the week. So
we were talking earlier about this rivalry, and you said it's crazy here. 50-50 split at any time. The tide can change. What was it like playing in that game, and what was it like beating the Gators?
It was good. The second half, the tide kind of shifted, like I said, but we were able to compose ourselves, pull out the composure card, and bring it back together. So.
Composure card, I love it. Congratulations, everyone.
Thank you.
Composure card. I thought that was a nice shot of Billy Napier looking up Stetson Bennett. He tried to sign him at Louisiana, and they got a good relationship. But
in the back of that interview that Bowers was doing, Kirby Smart went and found Anthony Richardson, and it looked like he was encouraging him and giving him some love.
I tell you what, that kid ran for his life today and did a good job. Nothing like jumping up in the stands after beating the Gators. This play of the game is going to be this throw to Bowers where he double dribbles it. Watch his head turn around then again. But that was just basically, we deserved that because of the one that they got. And here's another one.
2 plays of the game, both the Bowers. He's one of the best players in the country. Not even close.
Yeah, he knows what he needs to. Well, we're going to cover this Tennessee game next week about every way you can, fans. You can be listening to us on the podcast on Tuesday. We'll come on about 3:25 next week and let you know about it. And we got us a heck of a team that's gotten better. I'm impressed with our defensive coverages today. Once you're up 28-3, sometimes you lose a little stinger, but got to cut back a little bit on the penalties and mistakes. But 27-1, I think it's pretty good last 28 games. So
is this an Elvis night, or does Elvis stay for?
No, I just think Elvis would have probably jumped up a little bit more if sang something. I don't know what he would have sang tonight, but I'm not sure.
Save it for Tennessee. I think that any victory against Tennessee and the hype that game is likely to get, I think that'll be Elvis worthy.
Tell a Dolly Parton joke for him for Tennessee. You know what you got? If you got Dolly Parton, Joe Biden, and I see one more politician I got to think of which one I want to use here. Richard, let's just say Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton, Joe Biden, and Dolly Parton in a room. What you got?
I'm not touching this joke. I will listen though.
2 boobs and a country singer. All right.
Thanks everybody for watching the UGA Sports sponsors here.
Go order something from the Yancey Rinse and get you one of these nice bags here. I'm not going to give you mine. I'm going to keep this one over here. And Roddy doesn't get a shot at it because he's not here. I can't wait to watch this UT game. I'm going to go check it out. Go Cats.
Thanks to Yancey Brothers. Thanks to Bud Light Next. Thanks to Athens Ford. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel. Coming up here in about 20 minutes, Roddy will begin the post-game overreaction show. You're welcome to overreact there. We now flip the page to Tennessee, and we will see you next week. Say goodnight, Gracie.
Good night, Gracie.